So,
The bard.
So
bards.
bards.
The bards.
Oh, how I hate thee. Let me count the ways.
No, I should probably. A 3 difficulty.
Lies. Give it a 5.
3-star difficulty. Many class skills. I'm pretty sure it's actually all of them.
Yeah. I would say that bards are super difficult to kind of like master. It's just looking at it is overwhelming.
They have a very low skill floor to be able to bring them into being useful. Like,
True.
even if you don't at all utilize the vast majority of what they do, if you just hit that fucking inspire courage at the beginning of each fight, your bard is basically doing like 80% of their job.
Yep, that's true.
So yeah. They are a 6 spellcaster, 6 level spellcaster. Light armor, simple weapon, proficiency in shields. I always forget that they can use shields.
Yeah, has anybody ever done that? I'm sure somebody has, but
Well, like you would need to have only a one-handed weapon in them, and
Yeah.
crossbows and bows are both two-handed, which is what most I feel bards are going to have equipped most of the time.
Yeah.
Unless you're trying to go for a melee bard, which is odd, but it is what it is.
They get a lot of
Doable.
passives towards
maybe it doesn't feel
boosting.
right, but it's doable.
They get a lot of passives towards boosting like knowledge and lore skills, using those skills untrained, jack of all trades for even more skill bonuses, inspire competence to increase skill checks. Granted, those are competence bonuses, which I think come around fairly frequently for items. So
If you have an item with a with a stat boost, it's almost always going to be competence.
yeah,
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 pretty much.
but depending on what version of the game you're playing, like in the DLCs, you're not at all guaranteed to have an item with every stat bonus.
true. I would definitely can benefit from it for like perception checks in a long dungeon where you might not be able to see traps, because there's not like a ton of perception based items, and those ones usually go to characters with specific combat sets because a lot of them grant other abilities as well. But that's what I would do, is mainly use it and get that bonus to everything, but get the bonus to perception most of all, then go through a dungeon and do traps or whatever. With lingering performance, you don't even have to use like a lot of rounds to find everything.
Yeah.
So,
Or just do what I do and just blunder straight into traps half the time anyway.
that's what our pets are for, right?
Yeah. Pretty much. I would like to say I hate bardic performance until you get it as a move or swift action.
I don't mind it either way, because what else is the bard gonna do?
I know, but
Oh, Chromatic Jester is saying that he usually has his bard melee, and it works out pretty well. So it seems like
Really?
he's into the combat for his bard. But yeah, and he's of the mind that the bard is the best, which is not my mind. But
I mean, I like bards. I like do not get it twisted. I do enjoy me a good bard. Currently using one in my DLC run.
To be fair,
Very poorly, I will add. But I am using one.
With some of these sound-based evocation spells, being in melee makes sense because a lot of them are cones.
That's true. That's true.
And you get like blur, mirror image, and displacement.
I mean, you get a 3-4 base attack bonus as a bard, so I don't really see like being in melee like that much of a detriment, especially because most of your buffing and stuff's going to be done outside of combat.
Yeah.
I guess it just, depends on your songs, which personally I don't find their songs nearly as useful as you guys seem to.
All I know is I used Fascinate in Kingmaker all the time on a bard, and there was literally not anyone that we fought that was like impervious to it.
I used it once, and it saved my life on my first playthrough. I used it against Hargolka.
Nice. Yeah, dude.
He had ripped through my fucking front line. I
Yeah.
only had my casters left, and I had Lindsay use Fascinate on him.
You can fascinate all the
And
trolls.
it
Trolls fucking
saved my
stupid.
life.
Trolls are dumb.
Mm-hmm.
You can fascinate all
Yeah.
of them and the kobolds all at once.
Yeah. And like if you have better morale bonuses, like say you have, greater heroism on everybody or something.
Yeah.
Dirge of Doom can cause everybody to become shaken,
Which is a huge bonus.
will
Shaken's
activate
great.
stuff like shattered defenses and other stuff like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say Dirge of Doom. I think is by far the best thing that they have going on because of shattered defenses. Like for me, like that's if I'm using a bard, like that's
Soothing
what I'm using
Performance
with
is a giant AoE that gets rid of fatigued, sickened, and shaken.
Do all bards get that? I thought that was just
Yeah. No, right here, 12th level.
That's pretty big.
Okay.
It uses 4 rounds,
think-
but if you keep
Yeah, it
boosting
says
your rounds, it's
4
fine.
rounds though.
But like I have,
I
I
thought-
think on
whoa.
my bard in the DLC
So
run
does
that I'm
this-
using, I think I have like 36 rounds per day of
So
performance.
does this use up 4 rounds of your performance?
Yes.
I've
Yes.
not used it. The way that I
Yes.
read it is that it requires 4 rounds of continuous performance.
No.
So I thought well, that's what it says. And
It does,
like,
yes, it does.
that led me to believe that you had to perform for 4 rounds and then the effect happened.
Oh no.
Which I was
It's
kinda
an
like,
effect. It just
that's-
uses 4 rounds.
Yeah,
pretty
it's
much.
not a toggleable. It's a use. It's just an activated ability.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's instant.
That
it just if you have
definitely-
36 rounds,
Definitely
it'll
makes
drop
it
into
better than I
32.
thought it was then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely something I use this. I use this outside of combat regardless. So either way, it wouldn't be that big of a deal.
Yeah.
I was gonna-
and-
that's where I
Oh,
was thinking
Igor
of
makes a
using
good
it, but
point.
That at least makes it usable in combat.
Igor makes a good point. Light armor hurts a little, so give the bard
Yeah.
a reach weapon.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
that's what I was actually going to suggest. That's what I do with my Skalds and the Skald and
That
the
makes
Bard,
sense.
At least. Yeah.
I mean,
Good idea.
yeah, I will say like getting Inspire Heroics at level 15 kind of sucks because everyone is gonna
Yeah.
have like dodge bonuses to AC. Like, it's not hard to get those at that late in the game.
But on the other hand, dodge is one of the ACs
Does stack though.
Does
that
it?
will
Yeah.
stack.
Yeah, dodge stack.
Yeah, most dodge bonuses will stack. So
Most will stack. Okay.
yeah.
I thought all did, but if it was a dodge,
I think all of them, but I'm not 100%.
Okay.
So I will
That's
I
not
will
bad.
commit to
at
saying most.
least most of them. Yeah.
Well, the
Yes.
bonus to saving throws is whatever, because you can just use. I mean, +4 is fine, but to use that in your bard performance instead of just casting Good Hope. when you
Good
can-
Hope will only be a +2 though.
Yeah, but +2
So
versus
this is double what that is.
true, but it's also like you have to use that performance and nothing else. It's a matter of
And you
like,
can get that saving throw bonus from Greater Heroism if you have, which the Bard does get.
yeah, they get like all the buffy like enchantment spells.
Yep.
Heroism greater.
Where do they get that at? Level 5 or something? They
It
get
should be
level
level
early.
6.
Yeah, they do. No, it's level 5.
Level 5.
Is it level 5? Oh, they get.
That's where I
that's
look.
right, they also
that's
get
where
heroism
wizards
at
get
level
it.
2.
But yeah.
Yeah, they get it a level early from most casters.
Level 6, they get brilliant inspiration.
There we go.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, a bard's
And
good,
then,
but it's just like
You have the best song at level 20.
Yeah, well, I gotta say, and a lot of people probably already know this, but I strongly disliked Lindsay from the very start of Kingmaker, and then that turned into a hatred kind of in Act 3 whenever I got my kingdom and she robbed me and I was playing an evil character and thought I should have been able to kill her, and I wasn't able to, and so
Because
kind of
story,
never-
she can't
never-
die until she dies.
yeah, well, you know,
Spoilers for a game that came out, what, 6 years ago now?
I still should have been able to kill her. It kind of pissed me off. So I never used Lindsay, so I didn't really get to use a bard in Kingmaker. And then I have used them some in Wrath of the Righteous. Haven't been very impressed. But y'all do make a good case. Just
I mean,
most
they get a lot of very
get
good
from other places.
They get a lot of very good CC enchantment spells. I have been building my bard as a CC enchanter. I have vastly underused that, but I'm trying to keep that in mind as I go through into the harder islands now. Things like Mind Fog, you know, the domination spells.
Yeah.
I used when I
don't
did
get
my
overwhelming
bard
performance, right?
playthrough, when I did a bard trickster,
Oh, yeah. They get overwhelming presence at level 6,
Yeah.
which I believe is usually a level 8 or 9 spell. And they get it as a level 6 spell. Like, it's kind of insane that they get that.
I used Serenity and Song of Discord a lot when I played my bard. So
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely have a lot of very good stuff. Waves of Ecstasy is hilarious.
it is hilarious.
I love that spell exists.
In Pathfinder First Edition, there's a spell that makes someone so narcissistic that they spend their entire turns looking for a reflective surface to stare at themselves.
I remember
Wow.
that spell.
That's pretty
I
interesting.
remember that spell.
It's a good one.
Oh.
All right, so archaeologist.
Ooh. One thing. I
What's
just actually read Brilliant Inspiration again.
Uh-huh.
So what it does, because I think you mentioned it on something.
I did.
It basically gives you advantage on attacks, ability checks, and skill checks.
Yeah. Yep.
I have a robe that increases my cast level by 3. If I do that and get Brilliant Inspiration, get up to level 20 and take spell specialization, Brilliant Inspiration, extend spell, and greater enduring spells, I can get 24-hour Brilliant Inspiration on all of my characters.
And it works until you get a natural 20. So if you
Yeah.
don't ever get one, it'll work forever.
Oh,
It's a good one to have.
I did not realize that it naturally ended if you get a nat 20.
Nat-
I missed-
nat 20.
I did not read all the way to the bottom of the spell.
Yeah, so definitely not gonna get 24 hours out of it. But
Yeah, never mind then. That's that kind of kills that play. I was like, ooh, this is incredibly good. No,
Yeah.
no.
What's up, Hardly Sober? How's it going? Yeah, Song of Discord
yeah,
is great.
basically
And when you've
Bard,
got Song of Discord and Serenity,
quite
they're just
obvious.
hurting
It's
each
a
other
buffer
and themselves at the
for the
same
most
time.
part, a support character.
Beautiful. Welcome
Not
in.
really somebody that you're going to expect to do like the primary. You know, they're not going to be your primary damage dealer. Most likely not going to be your tank. They're the person that you use to get all of the skill checks. And because
Yeah.
I think they start with 4 skills, 4 skill points or ranks, without boosting intelligence or anything.
Yeah. I
Just naturally 4.
I would even use when I made my bard, I used my bard talents on like Canny Observer, Fast Stealth, Familiar. Like I boosted my skills as much as possible.
Mhm.
And that was my go-to, because I was like, I could get myself weird attack things, but I know that I'm like not gonna hit as much as other characters in the game anyway, so might as well dive into like what I'm gonna be the best at.
Yeah.
So, Chromatic Jester claims that we are underselling the Bard's control in both Kingmaker and Wrath of the Righteous, that they can turn on at-will criticals. I don't know about that. Do y'all know about that?
What?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Neither do I. I asked him to explain, so maybe we'll get an explanation here. Or Igor's pretty knowledgeable. Maybe Igor will explain it for us if.
Hey, you know what?
But
You
we can
don't
move
have
on.
to work
I
out
need
if
an
you don't want
explanation,
to.
I suppose.
No, If it makes you feel good, go for it. But don't,
He says you
At
can
will criticals.
I
He
never
says you
do.
can paralyze and incapacitate enemies. So, talking about using a coup de grace, maybe?
Oh, coup de grace.
Yeah. Paralyze and incapacitate them.
Paralyze.
How do you?
I mean, like, if you're using stuff like overwhelming presence, which I did mention, and I was talking about that I was building a CC caster, I just haven't been utilizing them as much. But yeah, there is a lot of very good crowd control spells.
Yeah.
I've never.
Mind Fog, Cacophonous.
If you're a trickster,
All
see this
Phantasmal
is.
Web.
If you're a trickster, you can just make everyone paralyzed anyway, just by walking up to them.
I never really thought of them as real strong, like crowd control characters, DC casters, because they only get 6 level spells, so they're at like a natural disadvantage versus full casters as far as DCs go.
Right, but they get spells early.
Yeah.
Like
Both
heroisms are gotten a level early. Like I said, Overwhelming Presence is usually a level 8 or 9 spell, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but at level 6, it'll still have the same spell DC as, like, you get it at level 16, so a wizard's, whatever enchantment spell they have right there at 16, they're going to have, a level 8 spell, so it's still going to have 2 more DC. Maybe the effect of it is not as good, but it still has, like, a better chance to hit. I don't know. So anyways, just explain, that's why I've never really thought that they would be super great at it.
Yeah, but wizards can't sing.
Thank God.
And you also have to figure, if you're using a wizard or sorcerer and a bard, you can use that sorcerer or wizard. Like, bards are not going to be a very good blaster caster or anything else, right? Like, they have the shout spells and stuff like that, but that's incredibly limited. Whereas you could use a wizard for that kind of stuff and not have to use them for your CCs. So it might be 2 DC less, but you're adding a lot of extra utility onto somebody who would otherwise be primarily a buffer. And then their actual in-combat utility is very low, usually.
Well, that's definitely what I've used them for when I have used them. It's pretty much just stack all the buffs on them, use all the spell slots to buff, and I don't really have any spell slots left for combat usually anyways, or not many. That's how I've usually done it, but I guess if it works, then you could have somebody else do the buffing. Okay, so archaeologist?
Sure.
All right.
Archaeologist.
Are a much more selfish bard.
Seems like a much just
This is
bard.
This is like a pseudo rogue bard, because you're better at finding and dealing with traps. Well, not finding, but
really a big deal.
you're better
you
defensive
get
against
danger
traps, and you get luck,
Which
is a bonus that almost nothing else gives you, and you get luck on everything.
I'll say
rolls, saving throws, skill checks, damage rolls.
Yeah, and you get clever explorer, you get confident explorer for trickery. You can take 10 on trickery. You get uncanny dodge for free. So it's a little more roguey. There's evasion as well. It's just no sneak attack, but
I will say I do like that it gets the luck bonuses. I was trying to make some kind of a lucky fool type build, and archaeologist was what I was trying to use for that, just because it does seem to get the most or the best luck bonuses of any class I could find. Anyways, that's the only thing it gets though. I mean, almost uncanny dodge and evasion are pretty good, but it doesn't even get improved evasion or uncanny dodge.
Advanced talents.
yeah.
Oh, as an advanced talent.
Yeah,
Okay,
improved evasion.
Okay, so it can get that, but the point is it's giving up everything, and then it doesn't even get sneak attack. So I don't know. I guess my point is, why not just be a rogue?
Giving up everything
Well,
Like, it's giving up all the other
everything that's
songs.
bardy, everything that's bardish, I guess, except for the spell buffs.
Bardish.
Yeah,
You
like
know?
it's
I mean,
focusing, but like if you're using archaeologist luck,
Yeah.
which is the reason that you would take this archetype, like you would take this because you want to be a self-buffing character.
Yes.
So if you're taking this, you're not going to be using it for inspire courage or competence or any of these other things.
Mm-hmm.
You still get lore master, you still get bardic knowledge.
but to what end are you going to be buffing yourself?
You're gonna buff yourself real good, and then take as an advanced talent weapon snatcher and use trickery to disarm everybody, and be a fencing master. That's what I would do. Just disarm,
sounds-
disarm, 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 disarm. No one can kill you if they don't have weapons. Okay.
What about all the enemies that don't use weapons, or that have natural weapons?
You've
or
got
cast
5 other
spells?
party members.
Okay, all right.
Well, like I'm
Seems like kind of a wasted party spot, but all right. You know what else can't kill you? Something that's dead. So just choose a class that will make them dead. I don't know.
I will
To
say,
me, this is just terrible.
I
You're
will say-
losing everything that you would want a bard for, and you're not getting anything that's very good for it. I mean, okay, evasion and improved evasion, but you can just get those with the regular bard anyways if it's under talents.
does
Right,
Bard
'cause they
get
get
advanced
these-
talents, though? Bard does not get access to
It
advanced
may
talents.
not. I'm not sure.
No, it's not on its class list. Like advanced talents is one of the things that's added to the archaeologist.
Okay. All right.
So everything under that, so blinding strike,
all right. So
confounding blades.
So if you want the bard, I guess, spells on a worse rogue, then
it would just be
archaeologist is your go-to.
CMB, your CMB versus their CMD. There
I
wouldn't
have
be,
heard,
it wouldn't be like a
um,
DC check.
that
It would be a
archaeologists can
combat
actually Stack
maneuver.
up a lot of damage. I don't know how.
Definitely don't see how they could
Um,
stack up more than a rogue, an actual rogue.
I'm curious. That's just danger sense. I'm trying to figure out how.
I mean,
'Cause
the
I
other big
remember-
difference between this and a rogue is that even with Eldritch Scoundrel, these spells are like specifically bard spells, and Eldritch Scoundrel isn't going to get all of these same spells.
Yeah.
So, if you want like this array of spells, the like buffing and debuffing that a bard typically does, then this is better. Or if you want to be charisma based, then this is better because Eldritch Scoundrel is intelligence based. It depends on how you want to play.
The more I'm looking, I am starting to not like this. The more that I look at it,
Yeah, I think it's just
because the primary thing is a lot of the advanced talents require sneak attack damage, crippling strike, ability that a character with this ability can sneak attack opponents with such precision that. So, an opponent damaged by one of her sneak attacks also takes 2 points of strength damage. Confounding blades. When a character with this talent hits a creature with a melee weapon attack that deals sneak attack damage. Dispelling attack. Sneak attack damage required. Double debilitation. I don't actually know if that's sneak attack. But like a lot of the more that I look at this, a lot of these require you to do sneak attack damage, which would then require you to take a level in another class, at least one, in Rogue or Vivisectionist or something else that gives sneak attack. So yeah, the more that I'm looking at this, the less I like it, simply because it doesn't. I wonder if Bard Archaeologist.
I mean, I think the main part.
I wonder if in the tabletop it gets sneak attack damage.
I think the main point of this, though, is that in terms of spells and skills, you are still a bard and will outclass a rogue typically in those areas. So yes, you're not as good at dealing damage, but the game isn't only about dealing damage. So, like, they're going to be better at rogues and skills. They're going to be better than rogues at spells. especially with the luck bonus. The luck bonus goes on all of the skills as well.
Yeah.
So
All right. Okay.
That
there's
is
a spot
one
for
thing.
it, but I'm
just saying it's not nearly as good as I thought it.
yeah, it's not very good. Maybe there could be a spot for it, but
It is much more specifically a skill monkey than even the bard is.
yeah,
Because it gives up a lot of its. Because it in all honesty, it gives up the majority of its combat utility. Because like we were saying before, if you just hit Inspire Courage, you're doing 80% of a bard's job in most parties in combat. And this one,
yeah, I agree. The luck is a swift action, and it's for saves. It's literally everything. It's attack rolls, saving throws, skill checks, and
it also
weapon
doesn't
damage.
get Fascinate. It doesn't get Dirge of Doom. It doesn't get any of the other songs.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I played an archaeologist in Kingmaker, and what I did is I did all of the trap stuff. Never missed a trap, never failed a trap. I did all of the skills, and then during combat, I hid. But it made it fun to roleplay, because in real life, if we got into a fight and I was with my friends, I would hide. So
I feel like in the
entertaining.
tabletop, it would be a lot more interesting, where role-playing is a lot more effective.
Yeah,
I guess, or fun.
Yeah, the role-playing aspects, unfortunately, in these games.
But danger sense is trash, so that may
unless you're playing
be there.
Unless you're playing harder, a higher difficulty, the role-playing is, you can sacrifice anything for the role-playing because the game just isn't that difficult.
Yeah, while true, you also don't really get.
I'm just saying you just can't have as much fun strictly role-playing something with a game like this as you can with the tabletop. Like that's the point that I'm getting at. That role-playing means less in this game than it does in the tabletop. Is what I'm getting at.
I mean, I get that. I think I just like the ease of being able to put whoever in my party I want to for combat purposes, and just know that every single skill I have taken care of.
Well, you can still do that if you got 6 people to take care of skills. You don't really need a skill monkey when you have 6 people. You don't necessarily need
just one person to do all.
Well, I do it because I interchange party members based on what quests we're doing, because people talk and have dialogue during different quests.
Okay, but can't you still just do that with your normal bard?
You can, but his trickery and perception won't be as good, and he won't get the luck bonus on all of the skills.
Okay, but you've played the regular bard in your party and done that with them, and it was sufficient, right? I'm saying, these things are not necessary to make better. It's kind of nice, okay, yay, but it doesn't really have that much of a practical effect.
I mean,
that's my point.
I mean, I get that, but I feel like I guess that goes along with a lot of different archetypes, right? So when we talked about Cleric, Herald Caller, any spellcaster can be a summoner just as effective or more effective than a Herald Caller that's specifically built for it. So the only difference is you get 2 feats for free, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that means not every spellcaster can, because they would have 2 less feats. So I'm just saying, not every spellcaster is going to be as good of a summoner because they have 2 less feats to invest in being a spellcaster.
I hear what you're saying. I agree that the archaeologist is not one of the top archetypes of the bard, but I think I still find it useful.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
It's not one of the best. There's at least 3 or 4 others that I would rather play, if I was gonna make an effective bard. But I do like it better than regular bard. But that's just my preference.
Just say it has better flavor than the regular bard. I might give you that, yeah. But okay, I think we all understand where we're at. I feel
like if you're wanting a trickery and perception person, just take a secret oracle.
Yeah, but what if you want all of these? What if you want these kinds of spells specifically?
Yeah, this specific.
Oracles
and then a
have different
secret oracle
spells.
and a bard.
I mean, I was saying just take a regular bard or one of the other archetypes of bard, and I think that
I mean, the
Yeah,
point of
aside
I
maybe
think
from
I've done
flame
a complete
dancer,
180 on this
think any of the
archetype.
other
Like
ones are-
I was super into it when we first
The-
looked at it, and then I
But it's
realized just how much.
pretty
'Cause
bad.
you're giving
right?
up a lot.
You're giving
Like,
up
let's be on
almost
let's
everything that
let's
makes
be
you a
straight
bard
up.
besides your spells, and you're getting almost nothing in return.
You're giving up almost everything. You get evasion.
I think they
and
are
improved
too,
evasion.
Igor.
You don't
I think
even
they
get
are
improved
too.
uncanny.
I also think that, like, the point of an archetype, in its essence, is to bring pieces of different things that you like, or different things that could be done better in other classes, and bring them all together. So yes, a bard is just as effective at all-around skillness. An oracle's probably better at finding traps. An Eldritch Scoundrel Rogue still has spells and would do way more damage, but there's different pieces that someone might want all of and to have, and this is the only archetype that combines all of those things in one thing. That's the point of an archetype. So, like, it's not as effective, I'll grant that to you, but it's a personal preference for some people to be able to have these types of spells, to be able to have the ability to be better at finding traps and dealing with them, and the ability to have luck bonuses, which I will add, I've played this game 4 times, I have found 2 items that give a luck bonus in this entire game. So, like, luck
there's not a
bonuses
ton of
don't
luck
even really
bonuses.
exist all over the place. There's not a ton of stuff that does it. And this is going to get you, like, a +4 luck bonus?
Okay, it does not scale.
No, I totally agree
I
with
was
everything that
just
you're
looking
saying.
up
I'm just
prayer
saying
real quick because I couldn't
everything
remember
that
if
they-
prayer scaled, because prayer does give a luck bonus.
my point was just that the abilities that they brought together in this archetype, I don't feel like are very practically effective because most of them aren't very necessary to do well in the game. That was my point. But you're absolutely right with what you're saying. And anybody who
Mirak
does
asks,
want
do we
this
know why
particular
Bard exists when
collection,
there's Skald?
then here you go. You got archaeologists. I
We're
don't
here
know.
to find that out, Neuron.
Why?
Yeah.
Because Skald has one archetype that does anything with skills, and none of the other Skald performances really do anything with skills.
We will get into that as we go through this. That's kind of the whole point of this podcast. Is
A court poet Skald is literally a bard, but worse.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned because there's going to be a lot of arguing when we get to Skald. You know, so if
Maybe.
that's your thing.
I know very little
okay.
about Skalds. I'll be learning a lot today about that because I did not do my homework this week.
I freaking love the Skald.
Yeah,
I-
I do not personally like the archaeologist.
Skald's
I feel like
cool.
you give up. I feel like
concept.
you give up way too much for what you get.
Yeah, Totally
I feel
agree.
mechanically speaking, it is far weaker than the bard.
Agree.
And even if you're playing the main game, and even if you're only using the party members that are given to you in the main campaign, you have so many party members that are so good at basically every aspect of skills and this of the game, and that have access to basically all of the spells.
Well, I will
that
say
you're going to have as a bard. You would have to do a lot to justify this particular archetype mechanically. Speaking strictly about mechanics and the way that I play the game, I do not put emphasis on roleplay when I play these games. So, speaking strictly mechanically, I do not think that this archetype brings enough to the table to justify giving up basically everything else.
I would say, like, in terms of combat or like buffing potential or debuffing potential, I would agree. I do think that, like, the main and only area this is stronger than a regular bard is its skills, because the archaeologist's luck is better than inspire competence. So this will have better skills than a regular bard would. That's it.
Yeah,
All right.
I will give it that.
But I
But
agree, like in combat,
you
yeah,
also-
this isn't going to be as effective, and for buffing or debuffing, it's not either, because you miss out on the buffing and debuffing performances. I would agree with you.
Yeah. There is one other aspect to this. For the vast majority of skills, there is basically a cap. And the cap of those skills is what is the highest DC that you have to pass in this game.
Yeah, but if you're playing for
And
the
how
first
easy-
time,
and how easy is that to hit?
if you're
So like, if you're guaranteed to hit that skill, without this archaeologist log, then using this particular performance for that skill check is useless, right? I'm not saying that this is a reason to not take this. I'm just saying that is an aspect that you need to keep in mind.
no, I agree with you, but it doesn't apply to anyone playing for the first time.
That's true. That's true.
Because you'll have no idea. I mean, I had skills in the 60s. I never needed skills to be in the 60s, but I fucking did.
I mean,
like
that is kind of fun.
I had like
That
60.
was
It's just like,
kind of the
yeah,
point,
I can beat this DC
you don't
by
need
3
it,
times
so-
over.
I had
doesn't really
65 in
matter.
every knowledge and lore skill, and I literally don't think I did a skill check higher than like 40 something for those.
Kind of nullifies its.
But it was really funny that I was like
Kind
the
of
most
the point.
knowledgeable person on the fucking
Oh, yeah,
planet.
no. Like, at that point, like, it's absolutely useless to have them that high. But
Yeah.
it is fun.
I will say,
Like,
I had my persuasion like in the 60s, and that was useful because that's what I used to paralyze everyone as a trickster.
well, that's why I was saying a lot of them do. Like,
Yeah.
The intimidation checks,
Woo!
those get really high.
There's no one I couldn't intimidate.
Yeah, the intimidation DCs can get incredibly high on some of the later game enemies. So,
Yeah.
like, persuasion and stuff like that, yes, I would say if you're going for an intimidation build, get that sumbitch up as high as you possibly
That's like an
can.
active skill, right? Like it's the passive ones, like the knowledge and perception and stealth, where you're just like, at a certain point, these will plateau, right?
And like that was actually one of my favorite things about the Kingmaker speedrun was trying to get my stealth to hit the exact point where the highest perception enemies would not be able to find me when I'm invisible. And using specific items, taking things like stealthy and skill focused stealth and stuff like that, I was able to just get that. And that was one of the last pieces of that particular puzzle to make that speed run a lot more consistent, because you have to run through that hallway with 3 wild hunt enemies and just hope that they don't see you, and they have like a plus 47 to stealth to perception or some shit. Or no, I think it's 37, because I think you have to get up to 57 to guarantee that they won't be able to hit you. And yeah, we were just able to do that in the route that I have. So, some of that stuff can be really interesting if you're trying to fully min-max a run.
I will say, before we move on to Beast Tamer, Archaeologist Luck does start as a swift action, which is nice.
That is
Already a
really
swift action.
All right.
because I mentioned how much I don't like the standard action, but
Yes. Alright, Beast Tamer. I love that when we're
Beast
like
Tamer.
on one for a long time, Igor's just like, so this next archetype.
move on, you long-winded fucks.
Yeah, we had people over here doing the same thing.
No, we
Listen,
will not.
listen, guys. We've got like 2 to 3 hours of time. Don't worry. Okay, don't worry.
We've spent 1 hour and we've gone through 2 now. So we can surely do the other, 12,
not been an
13
hour.
in the next...
It's been 45 minutes.
Oh, okay, 45 minutes. But I guess we did start a few minutes after 6.
Yeah,
I was, yeah. Okay. Beast
and
Tamer.
that's also including the intros and just shooting the shit for a minute too. So this is the summoning one.
Probably my favorite one.
Listen, I will say the bonuses you get to the summons are great, but Nature's Ally is the worst. I'd rather have summon monster.
Wait.
Yeah, Nature's Ally does suck.
I hate Nature's Ally.
Why is spontaneous summoning here?
Because you get spontaneous summoning.
You're already a spontaneous caster.
Yeah, but you can.
Yeah, but
Is
you
this
can.
just
turn
so that
any
you
of
don't
your
have to take
spells.
There are
20
spontaneous casters that have spontaneous summoning things sometimes.
Yeah, you can just turn any.
I
of your
guess this
spells.
just means that you don't have to take a spell.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
don't have to learn it.
I get what you're saying. I guess they could have just given us the Nature Ally spell at every spell level, but
Yeah, I thought
They did
that's
it
what
this way
this
instead.
row up top was.
It is.
Was them giving us this spell.
I guess that's true.
So why both?
I don't know. Good point. I don't know.
That is
Why
that's
both?
yeah. You know what? That's really fucking weird.
it does the same thing.
The doubt just sets in across the screens. What? Yeah,
Oh,
you get.
I get it because you can cast any Nature's Ally spell of the same level or lower. So it is a little bit different. You know,
I
you
guess?
can cast.
Oh, so you
If
can
you wanna
use.
cast a
sacrifice
worse
a spell
spell?
slot. Yeah, you can cast a. You can sacrifice a spell slot to cast a lower level spell. I don't know why, but I'm just saying
But-
you can. There
I
at
mean-
least is a tiny difference. There's a tiny difference.
He's trying to salvage this.
It makes sense. You can cast a worse spell. It's
I
fine.
will say we do. Yeah, we get augmented summoning for free, which is cool. Love it.
Yep, get that at level
Yeah.
2.
We get all of the inspire ferocity.
You
Which
lose
is-
out on all your bard talents, all of.
But it's
well,
not about your
all of-
friends anymore, Pondor. It's about your
No.
beasts. And you
Right.
actually
You
only
lose
miss out
your
on
courage to get ferocity, which.
you miss out on 2 talents, inspire competence, which isn't that great anyway. Inspire
Oh, is it
courage.
just 2? Oh, it is just 2.
Yeah, and you still get fascinate, soothing performance, inspire greatness, inspire heroics. You only miss out on a little bit.
Oh. Okay. There is an explanation. So the spells up top.
It's a
those are
spell-like
spell-like
ability.
abilities that you can use.
Ah,
for
I just read that
They're
too.
not actual spells.
Yes.
So you get them, and then also you get to add them. You basically get to add them to your spell list.
That makes sense.
So
Yep,
there
there you
is
go.
actually a reason for both of these to exist.
Yeah,
just
because
have
whenever
to-
you use the ability, you can actually only have one of those, but then you can use the spells too to summon however many you want with your spell slots. So yeah.
Wow. So at level 10, your Inspire Ferocity counts as Magic Fang, a level 1 spell.
Yeah.
And all your natural attacks count as if they were Silver and Cold Iron, which I believe happens at if you have a +3 or better. I want to say is Cold Iron and Silver.
Yeah, I think we looked at it
Yeah.
before and it was
Level
Yeah,
f-
it was
think it was plus
1,
three.
3, 4, and 5.
Level-
1 was just magic, 3 was Cold Iron and Silver, 4 was Adamantine, and then 5 was Alignment, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Level 14 is adamantine for bard and fire ferocity, and then level
And then
18 is greater
At
magic
level
fang.
18, you can use it as a level 3 spell.
Dark
Congratulations.
Master.
Well, you're not using the spell though.
hear
I
your
mean,
call.
you're never gonna get Magic Fang on all of your summons, so you can summon 50 whatever, and
I
you
mean,
can
I guess
use
that's
Inspire
true.
Ferocity, and they'll all have all these abilities on them. I mean, personally, I think the base bard is probably in general better, but I don't have used this to be effective in the Midnight Isles, which
Yeah.
made me like it. Like it was pretty effective.
Guys, we have a quick question. Does the Inspire Ferocity works on pet allies, but does it work on wild shape or transforming into animal allies?
I would
Probably
think
not.
so, but I would have to test it. There you go. We both give
let
two
me read
different
the actual
answers.
thing.
I feel like when it says pet allies, it's talking about animal companions.
Yeah, it probably is. I'll say this: it should affect all animals that are allied, is what it should do. Like
I would agree.
But-
from the flavor of it.
Wild-shaped party members are not considered animals.
That's true. They're not.
Because you can't use animal growth on wild shape party members.
That's true. Wow.
Also, I'm upset because I tested this at the end of my stream on Tuesday. So animal aspect, which is a polymorph ability,
Aries.
a polymorph spell.
So thankful
will
for
not
the sub.
the
1
mythic,
year, my guy. One year, dude.
I can't
That's
remember
insane.
the name of it.
That's crazy.
But the one that gives you a +4
Wow.
increase to all of your
And we've been
physical
playing
stats
Baldur's Gate longer than that.
whenever you're polymorphed,
Also, hey Bruce,
Those do not
welcome
work.
in, buddy.
despite the fact
Glad
that
to have you
aspect
here.
is a polymorph spell. That was something else that I learned about polymorphing very recently.
I would say that if you want to do summoning, this is great considering how very little you trade off for it.
Also worth noting, the spell-like ability summons are minutes per level.
Yes, those are
Not
always
rounds
great.
per
It's like isn't that
Yeah,
like Monster
yeah.
Tactician? They get theirs like spell like abilities too.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
not many archetypes that get this.
Yeah. Which is
Yeah.
really, really
That's good
nice.
Nirok actually also points out a good thing. The key word in Inspire Ferocity is pet allies.
Yeah, that's what I
It
said.
is summoned and pet allies, not animal allies.
That's what my point was. Is like pet allies makes it seem like animal companions because those are
Yeah.
pets.
but
Your friends are not
we all
pets,
know
Lore.
that the-
Your friends are
we-
not
we-
pets.
We all know that the wording in these things is not always accurate, though. I mean,
That
we already
is
had
true.
an example.
That is
We already
true.
had an example with that with the base bard.
Yep.
True.
Um,
Good archetype. It's very
yeah,
niche.
You lose Inspire Competence. I feel like if you're going to be doing a summoner, this is probably one of the better ones.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, I think I do agree as well.
Do I? It's like
Because you get all the way up to Summon Nature's Ally 9.
yeah. This is the thing is like I put it at kind of like mid-level in terms of like the bard archetypes because I don't think like I can compare it to other bard archetypes because it's a summoning archetype. But out of the summoning ones, I think this is one of the best ones, if not the best. Like I think maybe Monster Tactician's better because of the teamwork feat stuff, but other than that, this is like top tier summoning. You know, I mean, it's definitely not the fucking alchemist summoning archetype, that garbage piece of shit. But
Yeah.
this is,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's good.
You don't get... Now, here's another thing to note. You do not get both summoning feats. You get one of them,
yeah.
but you
Yeah.
do not get superior
But
summoning.
you get so many other bonuses to your summons that spending one feat on superior summoning is not that big.
Oh,
of a
yeah.
deal.
Yeah, I'm not
not a
saying
big
that
deal.
should be something to take away from it. I'm just saying that this is something to keep in mind. You would still want to get this feat at some point.
Yes, for sure. Don't miss out.
For sure.
I think Herald Caller is the only one that gets both, and they literally get nothing else for summons. So
Yeah.
Yeah. This
I
is
mean,
true.
it is a cleric, though.
yeah, it's a cleric.
Clerics don't get a whole lot of extra shit regardless.
No, but they can AoE buff all of their summons, I guess.
Yeah. with the
Igor
domains.
does point out that Monster Tactician does get Summon Monster, not Nature's Ally.
I
Yeah,
know,
it's better.
and it's so much
That is
better.
also better.
Yep. It's
Who
better.
wants this? I don't.
On the other hand,
I don't need
think Summon Nature's
mastodons.
Ally does get you wolves, though, right?
Yes, if you want the trip party, I hear what you're saying. But like, look at Summon Nature's Ally 9. Do you need mastodons? No.
Mastodons also get Trip.
Yeah, but they're not hard to kill.
Mine is.
But mastodons,
Manny
Yeah.
is a beast.
In Kingmaker, you can kill mastodons so easy.
pets are difficult to kill, but like whenever you're fighting them or there's summons or something, yeah, they die super
Yeah.
easy.
But I mean, that's the same with any summon, though. Any summon is going to be shit.
Yes,
I don't know,
mastodons do
I
trip.
thought
They are
summons
designed
were pretty
to be
decent in
disposable
Kingmaker, but
I
in
get that all
Wrath,
these
they are
animals do
literal shit.
trip, guys, but you realize that unless you like do stuff to make everyone's trips better, it's not.
Yeah,
it's not like
gonna
it's going to be that effective. Like a summoned wolf trying to trip high-level demons isn't going to do anything.
Which one is the animate dead archetype? That would be the Lich Mythic Path.
The Dirge Bard.
Dirge Bard, which I think is my favorite as far as flavor
I was gonna
goes.
say, do we want to just go there then?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Alright.
next. It's
Yeah.
freaking awesome.
I love the Dirge Bard.
What's not to like?
It's,
I
you
don't
know,
know. I know nothing about it yet.
if you want to be a necromancer, but instead of reading books like a wizard, you want to play music, it's the Dirge Bard.
Yeah. The only thing you lose is well versed, which kind of sucks, but isn't really that big of a well.
You also
that
lose
and-
Jack of all
that and
trades.
Jack of all trades, but that is
Sir.
like literally nothing.
Yeah.
It's a +1 to all skills.
And
I hear
honestly,
that.
like,
Which
with
is
your
terrible.
reductiveness.
I would rather have a +4 against fear, curses, and death instead of fucking Sonic, like, performance and Sonic effects.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen Demon sing. There's a couple out there that do,
Sure.
but that's it.
In the second
Bonus
half, all
on
those
intimidate
Baraki
checks.
are pretty
Equal to half his level.
can be difficult, but
But you get Cause Fear, Waves of Fatigue, which is a great spell, Banshee Blast, Command Undead is stupid. There's not enough undead in this game, but whatever. Yeah, bonus to intimidation checks, like you said, and DC on spells with fear effects. See, this wouldn't be great for Pondor because he hates when frightened creatures run away from him.
I do not like it.
no, it doesn't actually fear anything, though, right?
No, but you
Pretty
get
sure
bonus
there's
to
nothing
fear
that actually
spells.
kills. Yeah,
Yeah.
but still, you're losing almost nothing, and even if you don't use any fear spells, just like you said, just getting the +4 bonus to saves on fear, curses, and death effects
I
is better
think
than well versed. You said, so it's worth it for that alone. And then you also get Dance of the Dead, which is freaking awesome. Just
yeah.
prancing around, playing your little
I'm
flute while
gonna run away
skeletons
real
freaking
quick.
dig up through
my
the
cat
ground.
is meowing a whole lot, and I need to figure out what the hell is going on with it. I'll be back in just a second.
Best
Is
part
that
of Dirge
really-
Bard is making undead count as people for your spells. Is that a thing?
Is that one of the effects here? It sounds right. Sounds like it should have that.
Yes,
but
it
doesn't.
uses mind-affecting spells to affect undead as if they were living creatures, and they are counted as humanoids, which means you can mass enlarge person them.
Oh, you said mind-affecting spells, though.
It says they also count as humanoids,
Hmm.
which is all you need for a enlarge person spell. They just have to be humanoid.
Okay. Probably not going to be practical to do that. I guess you do have the AoE, like you have mass and large person.
Igor has given me a great
Alright, it was just being
idea.
an attention whore.
What's
All
level?
right, what is it so I can steal it?
What? No, it was mass and large person. What level is that spell though? Do Spart? I don't think bards even get that spell.
Level 5? Yeah, I don't think.
What are
you
we
do
looking at?
either. Mass and large person.
Did they not get that?
Do bards get that?
I don't think so. I can't.
Doesn't look like
I
it.
can't find
I
it.
was gonna say.
Sorry, Igor, your plan is foiled. I guess you, because it has to be the bard's spells that you use it. Like someone else can't use.
You might be able to use it from a scroll. I'm not sure how that would work. It probably wouldn't work still because, yeah, unless you. created
Yeah,
the
you would
scroll,
use
I
a
guess.
scroll. But we were talking about skellies that you summoned as a dirge bard count as humanoid creatures, so you could potentially mass enlarge them.
Oh, interesting.
I will say, I'm pretty sure. I can't remember if. I think in my video I said that if you don't care about the decrease on skill bonuses, which is like 1 to all skill checks, congratulations, not that great. This is like Bard Plus. This is like, if you're gonna
Yeah.
play a Bard, just choose this instead because it's Bard but better.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at.
There's no
Where does
point
it
in
say
not
that they're
doing it.
treated like humanoids?
Yeah, I was looking for that too. I couldn't find it, but
It's
I
under
seem to
the-
remember it being that way.
It's under where it lists the different fear spells you get. It says, a Dirge Bard may
Oh.
use mind-affecting spells to affect undead as if they were living creatures. Undead creatures are treated as humanoids for the purposes of determining which spells affect them.
Oh, well, enlarged person isn't a mind-affecting effect, so anybody could use enlarged person.
I
I'm
don't
pretty
think
sure the
that's-
Bard has to use the spell, is the way I read that.
Yeah.
Because it says
No,
the
it
Dirge
says undead
Bard...
creatures are treated as humanoids for the purposes of determining.
It's part of
which
the same
spells affect them.
sentence that says a
doesn't
Dirge
say-
Bard may use spells.
But they're like it's two separate.
It could go either way. It could go either way.
Yeah,
That's something you'd have to test.
I-
Even if they
yeah.
meant it one way or the other, they could have just worded it the other way.
I agree.
Or
They
a
don't lose
different way.
Bardic Knowledge, but they do lose Jack of all trades. That's what I was getting at. It's a
Yeah.
+1 to all skills, not that great anyway.
Yeah,
And
pretty.
Haunted Eyes is just flat out better than Well Versed. So it's Bard Plus. It's new Bard Plus, guys.
Yep. So Dirge Bard, awesome.
Awesome. Good one.
All right. All right. Now we've got a little bit of competition for Archaeologist as the worst archetype.
And and this
in Flame Dancer.
Dirge Bard gets great religion checks, which is awesome because like no companion is really good at religion skill. That's like one of the
I mean,
skills.
that would be any bard though, right?
No, this one gets a specific bonus to them. On top of everything else. So like you
Where does
just
it say that?
it says bonus equal to half the bard level on lore religion.
Oh,
checks.
okay. yeah,
Isn't
I
that
see,
what you normally get from Bardic Knowledge, though?
Bardic knowledge
Yes.
is half
Bardic
its
knowledge
class
is
level.
on all knowledge and lore checks.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Yeah.
So you do get this as a bard, and you get the other lore and the other 2 knowledges.
Cool.
Okay.
All right.
Flame Dancer.
Flamey boy.
Uh,
Again, like you're getting rid of the fear songs and the skill song for Fire Dance and Fan the Flame and extra fire spells. So this is like, if you don't want to be a fire damage bard, don't go anywhere near this because this is all that it's going to do is be a fire damage bard.
And if you do want to be
It's
a fire
only 3
damage bard,
spells as
just
well.
just take Dirge Bard and get the Salamander ring. Because
If
you're
you're
only
playing through the
getting
normal
3
campaign.
spells. Only one of them's pretty good. Fireball, Burning Arc, Burning Hands, not really that great. And your Fire Dance here is crap. And look at everything you're giving up for it.
Yeah, the fire resistance isn't huge. It's not enough to really negate any damage you might do against your party with fire spells anyway.
also, just get.
Well, it's not just that, but it's the same amount of
Protection
fire
from energy?
resistance you get from the protection from energy spell, which if you don't have somebody with that in your party, you better find somebody with it.
There's
Yeah,
just
there's so many sources for that spell.
yeah.
Like almost every spellcaster can cast those spells.
Yep.
Is there one that doesn't?
I don't think does the bard actually get it? I don't think the bard actually
I
gets
think it does. Pretty sure it does, right?
I'm looking right now. It doesn't look like it.
No.
But I know like
Oh, okay.
hunters
I
do,
apologize.
rangers do.
Igor says Flame
Um,
Dancer sucks. Next one.
Yeah,
Yeah, Flame Dancer's real
terrible.
bad.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, at least archaeologists had something like specific that it could do better, even if that thing it could do better sucks and doesn't matter that much. This
Yeah.
is just
Yeah,
crap.
Flame Dancer's real
This
bad.
is like trying to be 2 things at once: a fire damage caster and a bard, and it's not doing
And
either of them well
not doing
enough.
either one very well.
It-
Yeah.
It's a very half-assed. Well, like, cause Fan the Flames, I would say if it went the same way that the Beast Hammer went, where it's like we're giving you access to all the way up to level 9 spells of the fire type, which there's not even a level 9 fire spell. Like,
Yeah.
we will give you access to the primary fire spell of each spell level as high as it can go as spell-like abilities.
Yeah, but
That you can use X number of times per day. Then I would be like, okay, that would be a bit more interesting because then you would get controlled fireball, fire
Yeah.
snake.
Yeah. but
Flame
it's only giving you
Strike.
the 3 worst fire spells though,
Yeah,
and you
it's
don't even
literally
get them
giving
until
you-
level 8. You don't even get them until level 8.
Yeah. Here's
And it's not
if
even
you're getting
giving
them
you.
like-
It's not even giving you, like Scorching Ray.
here's the harsh
As your weapon.
reality. Half of the archetypes, all the archetypes that are based on the tabletop, are more created for the tabletop because of the diversified roleplay value. It's not translating well to the game. Like Flame Dancer fantastic in a tabletop. Probably you're a bard who sings and has fun and can also shoot fireballs. Other bards can't do that. But in a video game, it's very difficult to make that effective.
Yeah, the benefits for roleplay are so minimal for this archetype that the mechanical failure just overwhelms it entirely.
Yeah, it's terrible. Which every single class has at least one or two archetypes that are probably garbage and the game could have done without. But hey, they wanted to be able to say they had like 125 classes or whatever, so they're here.
Trash. Throw it in the garbage.
Thundercaller.
You lose bardic knowledge, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, I don't like Thundercaller a whole lot, but if you want to, like, I don't know, if you want to do some electric damage, then yeah, I guess so.
Sonic damage.
Or excuse me, sonic damage.
Well,
no, it's electric damage too.
You get Storm Call.
Well, you get Storm Call though, which is electric damage. So what I should have said is
you
electric damage in addition to which Storm Call is actually pretty cool. I do like that it increases the damage if there's a storm going on.
That's cool.
Or if there's like an air elemental that has unleashed like a vortex or whatever. Like that's pretty sweet. I do like that, but I feel like that that's not going to happen enough for it to matter. I mean,
that's super RNG dependent. I would not.
Yeah, I guess if you don't need them to have bardic knowledge, like if you have all that stuff covered and you're not going to be using like shatter defenses with anybody, so the loss of Dirge of Doom isn't too big of a deal, then I could get behind playing this as long as those two things. Because besides that, like the only other thing you lose is Frightening Tune, which I would probably not use anyways.
You lose Dirge of Doom,
and that's the one I was just talking about. Like if you're not using shatter defenses, the loss of Dirge of Doom.
Sorry.
Extremely minor. And then the Inspire Competence, I don't really give much of any value to that anyways. So, I mean, I could see you using it. I still don't like it as much as like the Dirge
the primary thing that
bard,
you get is also Thunder Call, because that's 9d8 once you get up to 19th level, which is not a bad chunk of damage.
Well, yeah, and that's pretty flavorful too. Like the feel of it, like the role play for it. It's not a lot of times that you get an ability that has like a good role play feel in an archetype that's also, decently effective.
Yeah. The route for the Kingmaker speedrun before I came into it used Valerie as a Thundercaller bard, and she was the only party member that you actually kept all the way through the game. So this used to have a spot in the Kingmaker speedrun.
I think Thundercall is very niche.
The damage for Thundercall doesn't have a save for it, I don't think. The fort save is to avoid being stunned.
Yep.
So there's also a stun potential for this as well.
Thundercall's good. I mean,
I thought it was stagger. Is it stunned?
It's stunned.
It is stunned for one round.
It is stunned. Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty good. Or could be good.
If you revive the queen as a lich, she comes back as a Thundercaller.
Yeah, that's annoying, but whatever.
What? Doesn't she have to be charismatic to be a bard? I thought there's nothing charismatic about a raging bitch, is there?
Yeah, she's like a level 50 paladin in the game, and then somehow she comes back as this charismatic undead Thundercaller bard. Yeah, it makes no sense at all.
It's fine. No,
she doesn't have charisma.
No, it's not. It's not fine. It's terrible.
That's just the game saying, just leave her dead. She deserves it.
I don't think she's that charismatic. I mean, I definitely try to bang her every playthrough, but I'm not going to say she's charismatic.
Never once.
She's definitely not. She's extremely hateable, which is kind of a slap in the face to liches everywhere, because whenever you revive her, she's actually like super thankful to you, and she's like, yes, thank you so much. Whereas like everybody else is like, no, I don't want to be an undead, let me die. And she's just like, yes, you're so awesome. Which is
she's like, cat. She like full heel turns at that point. She's like, yeah, I can't even think of, Iobade sucks. Served her for so long, she lets this happen. Fuck her.
You sound like you're half drunk.
It's
I mean, that's basically her.
yeah. It's amazing, like the super devout people in these video games, just like something bad happens to them and they instant 180. Like, I thought my devoutness was foolproof.
Yeah.
Nope.
They got jokered. One bad day. That's all it takes.
Thundercaller is cool. I think it's very like you're either gonna build around Thundercall or you're wasting your time. Like make the sonic damage good or don't even mess with it.
Did we talk about Incite Rage yet?
Incite Rage is dumb because Skald does it better.
Yeah,
because what does it better?
Skald?
It could be helpful, I guess.
Does it?
But...
Yes.
This is on enemies. This is not on
enemies.
You can prevent your enemy spellcasters from casting spells.
Oh, there's not that many spellcasters in a group of enemies.
I wouldn't use it, but I could see where somebody might.
Just think about this. You're on the final boss fight. She's a spellcaster primarily. You cast this, she rolls a 1. No spells that whole fight. She's just done.
Yeah.
All she has is her melee attacks.
You just gotta do what I do and kill the spellcaster first.
Oh. Yeah, I mean that would be great, but
it's all fun and games until
you roll the 1 or what?
Until she rolls the
Listen,
1, damn it.
Pondor, it's all fun and games until you give
right out of my mouth.
It's all fun and games until you give a Balor +2 to strength and constitution, okay?
I'm talking about fighting Miss Arilu herself, sir.
Yeah.
Also, a +2 to strength and con on a Balor. The con is gonna do more than the strength. Like, let's be honest, a +2 to strength or a Balor is a drop in the ocean. It does not matter.
Every point matters. Have you played tabletop?
+1 to attack and damage. I don't think that's gonna matter a whole lot. If it's going to kill you, that +1 to damage is not going to make a difference.
No. If you want to use it, go for it. But
exactly, Ares. You can't kill them if they're dead. Suckers.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad.
It's got some interesting and cool stuffs to it.
Yeah.
Here's
Thunder Calling. Definitely recommend it. So Tranquil Whisper. Last one.
This is one of my favorites. I played this one with my Trickster as a just pure buffing bard. Okay, you get to do morale bonuses to AC that goes up to +4.
That's pretty rare, isn't it?
You get to grant morale bonus to saving throws against mind affecting effects equal to the AC bonus. And you grant everyone blind sense. And then also you yourself gain immunity to confusion and mind affecting effects and count as an outsider.
That is at level 20.
Yes. But
so
I feel like
majority of the game you're not gonna have that.
I feel like I mostly got mind fucked at the end of the game, so it's fair. But I loved this. The AC bonus was great for me playing through. I much preferred it to Inspire Competence.
Inspire Competence sucks.
And Inspire Courage is like, it's also competence bonuses. Like, you can there's lots of spells that do bonuses to attack and damage, I feel like, across all the caster characters.
Are they competence bonuses, though?
Yeah, I don't think you get a whole lot of competence bonuses. How often do you get
competence bonuses?
Those are usually from items.
I don't know. Yeah. Maybe I'm just a more defensive player. That's
Yeah, maybe. Because I'm trying to think, where do you get competence bonuses on attack and damage rolls?
But morale for AC and saving throws is one of my faves.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same could definitely be said about morale for defensive abilities. That is basically unheard of, I believe. I think this might be one of if not the only, one of maybe 2 or 3 sources of morale bonuses to AC in the game.
Yeah, because even Good Hope doesn't do it for AC.
Yeah. So
I could see using this over the others. I like it.
And the performance, effect is also a really pretty color.
If your defense is lacking and you feel like that extra AC is going to help, then for sure. I'm still stuck on what other sources.
Igor Heroism does, but
Yeah, I
you
don't
have to
think
use it one
there's
person at a time.
Harmony
It's not a
and
multiple
any-
person
definitely
spell,
nothing's
is
coming
it?
to mind.
Yeah,
Um,
like I can't think of any. So I think these might both be unique. If not, like I said,
Yeah, it's
there
one
might be like
creature
one or
at a
two other
time.
sources for them.
Which is a lot of
Um,
spells.
But yeah, the competence to attack and damage,
This is just
as well as
a
the
+4
morale
to saving
AC
throws
are
against
both
mind affecting
incredibly rare.
effects for everyone, which is most of the
And
saving
yeah, you're
throw
not-
bonus
you're-
you need.
Other than that, you're not really giving up a whole lot. You're giving up well versed, and the deadly performance, which, let's be honest, deadly performance is not.
Yeah.
Like when I first started playing tabletop, I looked at all these and I'm like, oh my god, look at all these level 20s where you just get an instant kill move. You know, like
Right.
when you first start looking at this stuff, it's like, oh my god, I could just like murder a person outright. It's great. And then you start like playing and you're like, oh, that's never gonna actually
Yeah,
happen.
I love that in Kingmaker where it's like, yeah, you don't get past level 18, buddy.
Yeah.
I think what this one comes down to is I feel like it's on par with a bard, and it's, do you want bonuses to attack and damage, or do you want bonuses to AC?
Yeah, this I feel is 100% personal preference.
Yeah.
I do not think that Tranquil Whisper or Bard is better than either of the others.
No.
Or like Tranquil Whisper and Bard compared directly, I feel like they are equal.
Yes.
It's just down to personal
Yep.
preference.
I'll say this. Generally speaking, having a higher attack is more powerful than having a higher AC, like the faster you kill thing. I don't know. I think I might put the regular, like, maybe slightly.
But I
above,
think it comes
instead
down
of
to,
that.
like,
It does depend also on difficulty.
it also
right?
depends on, like, how many sources of different bonuses do you have for attack and damage in your party versus defense.
Yeah.
So,
That is also true. I'm just,
yeah.
definitely
Yeah,
not recalling
On higher
competence
difficulties,
ones.
I think
Why I was saying that.
boosting your offensive abilities is far higher than boosting your AC.
Yes.
because you get to a point where, you know,
It doesn't matter
they're
how much
going
you
to be
boost your
hitting
AC.
you if they hit
Yeah.
you, and displacement effects and blur effects are far more useful and necessary than higher AC. But like on lower difficulties,
Yeah. On harder
you know, that plus 4 to AC at 17th level, like, you might just make it so that most enemies can't touch you.
on higher difficulties, it's a lot of who strikes first and
Yeah.
strikes hardest.
So
But
that is also something to take into consideration.
Yeah.
On higher difficulties, I would say Tranquil Whisper does start to lose out compared to Bard and the other archetypes.
I would probably agree.
Maybe not all other archetypes, but at least Bard and Dirge Bard. Maybe Thundercaller.
Well, I'm specifically saying compared to on easier difficulties, Tranquil Whisper like gets better the easier the difficulty.
Yes.
I would
Yeah,
say.
and I agree with that.
So across all of these archetypes, I would obviously do Dirge Bard at the top. Frankel,
Yeah.
Whisper, and Bard are like, go back and forth depending on difficulty. And then for me personally, I would do Archaeologist, then Thundercaller, then Flame Dancers in the garbage, and Beast Tamers off to the side because you can't really compare it.
All right.
That's how I
How
would
about
do
you,
it.
Pandora?
I would say Dirge Bard. I like Dirge Bard. Thundercaller is really cool. And then I would put Tranquil Whisper / Bard, Beast Tamer, Archaeologist, Flame Dancer.
I don't like.
Yeah.
I don't think Thundercaller adds enough good stuff. Like the one thing, it has one good thing that it adds, and to
I would say 2 good things and 1 interesting potential. Because you have the Thunder Call, which is guaranteed damage. There's no save for the damage, so you're just going to be doing that much. And you can potentially stun everybody that hears it, unless they make their fort save. Which, against demons, you're not going to be getting the fort save, but not everybody in this game is.
yeah.
It also has, the Storm Call, and then I just think Incite Rage enemies is not good, but I think it can be fun.
Yeah. I agree. It could be.
Sure.
So I think it brings enough to definitely bring it over Dirge Bard, and like I said, the more we talked about Archaeologist, the less I liked it.
I think the electrical damage for me is hard because you're gonna need to take Ascendant Element to make it work, and you get 0 electric spells as a bard. Like, this is the only electric damage you're doing. I guess you could take that ring that gives you the electric spells, but...
That, and also, it's only 1 round of your performance to do this, as well. So you could do this a lot.
Yeah, I guess so.
You can do it a lot.
Like I said, I was able to use... I think I'm like level... I just got level 18, or level 8 spells, so I'm like level 15. And I have like 30-something rounds per day of bardic performance. That's a lot.
There are
like, you're
bracers,
not gonna run out of that many rounds.
There are bracers that turn all damage electric. Is that just spells? Or like all spells and effects?
I would imagine like all elemental damage or something. Maybe all.
Because that would be cool if you used Thunder Call and had electric damage that didn't have a save with it.
Oh yeah, there's no save for this either. Also, like the level 20 deadly performance doesn't mean shit. So you could take 1 level in Sorcerer or something that gives you a bloodline.
Oh, that's true.
And then you just take the Draconic Bloodline for electricity damage, which gives all of your spells that do elemental damage.
That actually might be a dip that I find wholly acceptable.
So then all of your sonic damage will be electricity. And then, you know, that also boosts up the usefulness of Ascendant Element.
Yeah. Being a sorcerer bard makes sense. Better than the people who go fucking monk paladin, as if you could ever be both of those in real life.
Hey.
There's
Speaking of
no...
somebody who's currently playing a monk paladin,
There is no IRL roleplay scenario where you could ever be both a paladin of a knightly order and a monk. You can't be both things in real life.
What do you mean?
You can't.
What do you actually mean?
You can't be in a you can't live in a monastery and also be part of a paladin order. That doesn't make any sense.
Not every monk lives in a monastery.
In the fantasy worlds, they pretty much do.
Well, could you live in the monastery and then the monastery burned down, so you join the knightly order or something?
Don't you need?
There are definitely ways to roleplay.
Can you be a part of a knightly order without having any material possessions? Because monks don't have material possessions.
Well, what if you fight as a monk, but you worship a good deity and they start blessing you with paladin abilities? Because that's all a paladin is. Like, you don't necessarily have to wear the heavy armor and use the weaponry. You're just blessed by a deity. Yeah. Walk them statements back, sir.
No, I don't know if I'd let a player do it. I'm gonna be honest with you.
You just don't like that they would be too strong.
I don't care. I think people making OP decisions is perfectly fine. I just wanted to make logical sense.
I mean, that does make logical sense. If you're a monk that dedicates themselves to improving their body, but they worship a good deity and they're doing acts in the name of a good deity, would that deity not then bless them as if they would another paladin?
Potentially, but I feel like most of the deities... Oh. I mean, I guess there's like a couple that would work. But...
Is Aurori a good deity?
No, it's lawful, but I think you can be lawful good.
Yeah.
That would be the one, I guess.
I mean, like, even if, like, you're a lawful good monk, like Sarenrae, you're saying that Sarenrae wouldn't bless a monk with her...
Sarenrae is definitely a neutral good deity, I'm pretty sure.
Right, but you don't have, like, if you're a lawful good monk,
yeah.
Still... Yeah, like, they're... Like, any neutral good, lawful good, or lawful neutral deity, I feel like you could roleplay. Like, you would have to workshop it, obviously. You would have to come up with reasons, but
Yeah.
I don't see any particular reason why a monk paladin is like immediately unfeasible.
I guess.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
I would put them in the order of Dirge Bard first, then Tranquil Whisperer, then Thundercaller. Then I would go with Beast Tamer, and then Archaeologist and Flame Dancer. And I don't know. You can put the regular Bard wherever you want in there. I don't think it really matters too much, I guess.
Flame Dancer in the garbage. The one thing
Yeah,
we
it's
all
real
agree
bad.
on. The
It's
I-
really
things.
bad, guys.
I actually do have one more. I was not going to put Tranquil Whisperer that high, but Matt over here pointed out that since they nerfed Guarded Hearth, it's now a competence bonus, and I would pretty much always have Guarded Hearth most likely in a playthrough. So that's why I moved up Tranquil Whisperer to second place.
Fair.
What was it before?
It was all. I think it was all a sacred bonus.
Ah. When did that happen?
Like before the Treasure of the Midnight Isles DLC came out, so like 6
Oh,
weeks
okay.
ago, maybe
I wasn't.
something like that.
That's a
Seven-
I
sad-
wasn't really
that's a
keeping
sad
up with
nerf.
Wrath updates for a while.
That's a sad nerf.
Yeah, yeah. Guarded Hearth is nowhere near as good as it used to be, but it's still really good.
Yikes.
Definitely not as good as it used to.
Well, we all agree that Dirge Bard is great, and we all agree that Flame Dancer sucks. And I think that's what's important.
be. Yeah, probably so.
Oh, okay, it does.
All right. Now that we're done with the Bard, let's move on to the
Skald.
class that everybody should be playing.
Skald!
Barbarian.
Alright, let me read up
I'm
real
so
quick
sad
on what
that they
this
don't
does.
actually have it called the Barbarian.
Nope, it's not a Barbarian. It's Skald, which is basically
Which is basically a Barbarian, yeah.
yeah, it's basically like a Viking bard.
Huh.
But anyways, Skald's
Rage
pretty awesome.
powers.
They do get bardic knowledge. They get a nice
Martial
little
weapons
bonus
and
combat
medium
feat.
armor.
They also get scribe scrolls to start off. Yeah, martial weapons and medium armor, all good stuff. They get well versed at level 2, the same as a bard. They get Skald talents in a very similar manner to the bard talents. Although I think the bard may have gotten 5. Does the bard get 5, or did they only get 4?
I think they get 5.
They have 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they do get one more talent there. We get Uncanny Dodge, which is nice. Song of Strength, which is kind of meh. A lot like Song of Competence or whatever the bard
Yeah,
one
well, and
is.
it's not even that. Like, it's strength-based skill
It's
checks.
just for
which is
athletics.
athletics.
Which, if you have
Yeah.
an animal companion, no one needs to have that.
I wasn't trying to say that it was the same as that. I was just saying it's kind of meh. Like, to me, it doesn't really matter the same way that the Inspired Competence one doesn't really matter to me.
You get
Um,
improved Uncanny Dodge as well, which is
That is
nice.
Yep.
nice.
Yep.
Song
very
of the
nice.
Fallen is cool.
You still get Dirge of Doom,
Right.
which to me is the most important song that the bard has.
Yeah.
So nice to still see that there. Raging song can become a swift action, which is cool. And then Song of the Fallen, which I've not used very many times, but it's pretty sweet whenever it actually happens and you get to revive your allies with it.
I feel like
I was like what?
I feel like having 3 DR is just like, why even have the DR on there at all then?
Yeah, I was gonna say the
Yeah.
damage resistance in this game is garbage anyways, and yeah, only getting 3 of it doesn't really matter. Lore Master also doesn't really matter, and those are really the only things that I feel like don't matter here. Well, those in the song. of
Master
Strength.
Skald.
Anyways, the best thing that they get by far is the rage powers. You know, instead of singing and sharing whatever inspired courage or whatever, they get to actually share their rage powers. And there are
Mhm.
some really overpowered
That is
rage
cool.
powers
Yeah.
that just kind
Yeah.
of break. And I would say the Skald is almost necessary if you're going to play on like hard or unfair difficulty with a party. It's not necessary, but I would say it's as close to necessary as you can get, just because of how overpowered it is to be able to give your entire party the barbarian rage powers. It's freaking
Yeah.
nuts.
that's
So
right.
Igor said the damage reduction is shared with your party, and you can boost it with the increased damage reduction rage power.
Okay, it's still
So
garbage,
everyone
though.
gets
It's
DR.
three damage, which doesn't matter. Maybe if you're playing on like, I don't know, story mode or something, 3 damage.
Yeah, and eventually, like with if you used every single rage power, you would only bring it up to DR 12. Which is still nothing.
To be fair, DR 12, if you're going up against like Meriliths, that's 6 attacks per round. That's
All right,
what, 72 damage that you save
So
in
we're gonna
one round?
So we're gonna dedicate our entire class to fighting Meriliths? Like,
Well, I'm just saying that's an example of
Yeah.
a large chunk of damage that you would lose. And like, well, I mean, there's also the what are they called? The Lilitus. They get like 5 attacks per round, and they do a good chunk of damage with each of their attacks.
Okay, I do just want to point out again that we are talking about using all of our rage powers for this, though.
That is fair.
And you should.
Yeah,
be
I agree.
using none
We're
of your
still
rage
bad.
powers for this.
But no
you're
spell
only
keening.
really going to be
in the
preventing
Call of the
15
Wild.
Lilitu's damage. Which
In the
is
Call of the Wild, they
incredibly
have spell
negligible.
keening on
You
their
can
skull.
also just get Stone Skin.
Communal
And then
stone
there you go.
skin.
There's a lot. You know, there's DR10 right there. What are you doing, kid? Here. There you go.
All right. It looks like the spell list as well is the exact same as the bard.
Yeah,
Probably,
it's exactly the same as
Okay.
the bards. They get a 3-4 attack progression. the
I'm
same
cool
as
with
the
that. I
bard.
like the bard spell list a lot. So
Yeah, I agree. For medium progression caster, it's a good list.
yeah, cool. So Battle Scion is instead of rage powers,
Mostly, yeah. Go ahead.
it says
You can actually do it instead, so it's mostly better.
Oh.
I don't mind losing barded knowledge because you can still take rage powers, but you can also take teamwork.
do you share the teamwork feats as well then?
Yeah, you do, but it takes
Mm.
three rounds of your raging song instead of 1.
Okay.
So you know if you've got 30 rounds of it, then you really only get 10.
You do get bardic knowledge and courtly presence.
Yeah, so this, half your level to persuasion to intimidate, and you get half your class to knowledge world checks.
I feel like in most instances, this is probably going to be as good or better than the regular Skald.
Yeah, this seems like it's
Yeah, it's
simply
it's
better.
more flexible, right? Like it's versatile
Yeah.
Skald plus instead of just being a Skald. Like there's
I
no
mean-
reason to not take this. Because you don't have to do the teamwork feats if you don't want to.
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah, the only thing that you lose is you lose
the
half your
the
class
bardic
level
knowledge.
to 3
Yeah.
skills, which you can pick those up from other characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. That's losing almost nothing. So
And you get
almost always want to go battle Scion.
and like persuasion is pretty valuable instead anyway.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're already a charisma caster.
Yeah, you
Using
can
it for
really do some
persuasion.
intimidation stuff with that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do want to point out for everybody though that even though you're able to take the teamwork feats, it's almost always better to just still take the barbarian
I would
rage
agree.
powers.
I would agree.
So you have that option.
Yeah.
But I would say unless you're trying to do something really, really specific that's probably not going to be as good, but you want to do it anyways, then you still shouldn't take the teamwork feats.
Igor's
And I
dropping
mean, like,
the knowledge in the
there's
tabletop.
other sources of team-wide teamwork feats as well. Like Azada gives them, you can grab a cavalier and get them that way. There's definitely other sources where you could just give the whole party.
Igor
teamwork feats.
said in the tabletop, the actual ability gives you any combat feat instead of the rage powers, but they nerfed it for the game.
That
Okay.
That would be interesting.
What-
Like, what if you gave everyone combat feats?
I think the rage powers would still be better. Like maybe if they didn't have to meet the prerequisites for it, maybe I don't know. I'd have to.
I mean,
sit
I would
down and go
assume that
through
you would
'em.
have to.
But the
ignore
rage
prereqs.
powers are already so freaking well. It doesn't know. I
Well,
want to say with the teamwork feats here, don't they not ignore prereqs? Like they have to. I think right here, like they have to qualify for them to be able to get them. as long as those allies also meet the prerequisites. So if they're going to have that stipulation for the teamwork feats, I imagine they'd have it for the regular feats as well.
Do many of the teamwork feats have prereqs?
Yeah,
yes.
These
the moment
combat reflexes.
Yeah.
But if you wanted outflank,
I think it's the only one though.
I'm pretty sure anyone could take outflank.
No, outflank though does have a prereq. Its prereq is base attack bonus. Yeah,
4, I think.
5.
5.
It's got to be BAB 5, so you can't actually get it until you're level 7 if you're a 3-4 progression.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah.
Is it just adding the feats? Because if you look at possible selections, some of the different totems are gone. Is that just a typo or a glitch?
Yeah, I think that this just isn't working correctly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've run into that
like
before, where it just doesn't show everything, or it just doesn't show anything.
Yeah, I think that's what's happening here. Patrick Rydberg does want to point out, and I didn't realize this, but I think he is right. We can look through to make sure. But says that the Skald does get a couple of extra spells, like rage, specific spells, like probably enrage.
Okay.
I don't know if there are any other ones.
I'm gonna say this.
When it gets rage as a level 2 spell, which is interesting because that's usually a level 3.
Oh, level 3, yeah.
I'll say this, when it comes to totems, I went over the totems, the powers, on my videos for sure. You can't go wrong with most of them. Never do the Fiend totem because they don't affect evil characters.
Yeah.
That's the one that you never want to do.
Demon Dancer makes me sad because of that. It's like, oh, and any other setting, because it's just like the way the Demon Dancer feels, it sounds like the description they give it, and then it's like, nope, it's total garbage in this game. Yeah, it uses the Fiend totem.
Yeah, so ignore the Fiend totems, but the rest of them, like, you can find uses for any of them. It just depends on how you want to play. I feel like there's not really a wrong way to go besides taking Fiend.
I would say I think that Beast, at least combat-wise, mechanically, for maxing out your stats, Beast Totem is definitely by far the best. Maybe, I don't know, the Celestial or whatever has some uses.
I like spell resistance, but besides that, I don't know.
Yeah.
I like
with the Beast Totem, like, it gets pretty freaking wicked. You can give like your entire party +9 to attack, +4 to AC, and they get freaking pounce. Like, it gets pretty crazy.
I do like lethal accuracy, deadly accuracy, lethal stance.
Yeah, that's the one I always use is the lethal stance and deadly accuracy.
It's a good one.
Sure. Yeah, I think it's the best.
Yeah. So anyway, definitely Bard plus. Ignore the Fiend totem. Don't bother with the teamwork feats. Our personal recommendation.
Yeah, I agree. If you want teamwork feats, just pick them up with your regular feats.
Yeah,
and have them
someone needs to be a cavalier, or someone needs to, I don't know, do something else.
Is that a boy?
Battle Singer. This guy gives up rage powers to do shouty things, right?
But I do want to point out that they are interesting shouty things, because they actually play off of each other. Like, if you use them in sequential order, then like they have increased effects, which is pretty cool. Like, if you use first verse and then second verse and then third verse, it gets stronger as long as you're using them in that order. And the third one will actually cost nothing if you've used the first two like immediately before it, and it has like +4 to its spell DC, or I guess not spell DC, but just DC. And it's also maximized.
And you only lose the 3 rage powers. You still get 3 rage powers.
To be clear, I still think Battle Scion is better, but there are some interesting mechanics or ways that this works.
Would you?
You want to do something
this
different?
One is far better
with it?
in turn-based than it is in real time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, probably.
Definitely with the
in
way
real
that
time,
the
this
verses
is
work.
so micromanagey.
Yeah.
I think that I feel like this is just like if you think this is more interesting than Battle Scion, then choose it over Battle Scion kind of thing.
Yeah.
just kind of like a personal preference issue. But I mean, it seems cool.
Yeah,
You
I
don't get the
agree.
you don't
And-
get the bonus to intimidation.
And you still have enough rage powers to do like an entire like line of rage powers because they're in threes.
Yeah, you can get a full.
You
Totem.
can do a full totem
Yeah.
set still.
So yeah,
I dig it.
Yeah, I like Battle Singer.
I'm digging it.
Pretty good.
I like it.
Yep.
Now here's
Potentially
the
rec-
one.
I would say like this is really cool if you take it on turn based. If you're playing real time, I would not bother. Unless you want to just keep your focus on this character specifically.
Yeah, that's a good point. If you're somebody like Nicola who is real time with pause only, like devoutly, then you're probably right on Pondor.
I ain't got time for that turn based shit.
All right, so Court Poet, actually pretty interesting, pretty good. It's one of my favorites here. I don't think it's one of the best, but the insightful contemplation is pretty nice, and it's a way to just gain charisma, especially whenever you're having charisma-based DC casters or tanks. It's just a way to gain some extra charisma beyond what you normally
Interesting.
could.
This is like really good to buff like if you have like backline casters, you can just give them all int and charisma.
Yeah.
I mean, this is
Something else
also
to,
if you are, hey, if you're one of them monk paladins that Unsung loves so much.
oh yeah. Yeah,
This is also, boosting up their AC, it's boosting up their saves.
Yeah, if you're going with an entirely overpowered charisma-based character, then you definitely want to get one of these as a mercenary, so that because then you'll get double the effects from the charisma bonuses that you're seeing here.
Cool. I don't mind giving up Song of Strength or Well Versed. Don't really care about either of them.
Yep.
Like well versed a little bit, but it's not that.
Well, what sonic attacks and bardic performances do you need saving throws against?
Darachne, and the damn little bug things or whatever. It's pretty heavy in act. Yeah.
Calypsy, thank you very much for the raid.
Oh, I thought you said no.
Is that the captain?
No. Also, no to you.
Is
I
that
don't know
You don't even know what I said.
is that the
was
captain?
distracted by the raid. I
Is
don't
that-
know what you said, but no. Anyway.
Yeah. No,
But yeah,
anyway.
thank you very much for coming in, Raiders. We are currently comparing the Bard and the Skald. We just got done with the Bard a minute ago. We're currently going through the Skald, and we are talking about the Court Poet archetype in particular. Yeah, welcome
Yeah.
in. Hope you enjoy.
Insightful spell is interesting. Eventually, +5 damage to damage dealing spells for all of you and your allies. So this is really good if you have like a spellcaster heavy party.
Yeah.
I can give
Okay, so it's just flat. It's not like per dice rolled or something like that, because I know that that's something that.
Yeah, it's not really that much damage, but it is something.
I mean, it's guaranteed damage.
Yeah.
I can dig it.
Yep, I'm alright with that. What was the other stuff? Handling the crowd, AC.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's kind of
Sorry,
whatever.
it's called Battle Psyod for Sela and backtrack because she was making the caster unable to do their job. There is actually an ability that is toggleable in Wrath. They'll make it so that you do not accept the rage.
Yeah. And
So that should not be yeah. It's something that most people don't know about because it's not something that comes up in most playthroughs, but yeah, that is a thing.
yeah, and if you don't make use of it, then yeah, the Skald is just freaking terrible.
Yeah, that's definitely something you need to keep track of.
Yeah.
Uh,
All right. Well, I don't know. To me, the Court Poet is basically worse for most things, but if you've got some DC casters or
It's niche.
some overpowered level dipping charisma monk BS going on, if you have one of those two things going on,
I like that.
then
I like that.
you can
charisma
definitely give
stuff.
this some consideration.
Yeah, like because like let's look at this from like an AoE standpoint. So you just hit Chain Lightning and you hit 12 people. Chain Lightning is what, a level 6 spell? So you'd be level 13, so you'd have a +3 to damage on every single person that you hit.
Yeah, no, that's a good point actually. With AoEs, that damage could definitely
It
add
ramps
up.
Also, just the ability to increase. Oh wait. I guess you won't be able to have both of these at once, though.
What do you mean? Both of what at what?
Whenever a quarter. Oh, never mind. I thought that the Insightful spell was a separate song
Nope.
from Insightful.
Oh,
Contemplation.
yeah.
It's in addition to. That makes this
In
way
addition.
better than I
Yeah.
thought it was. Okay, I
Yeah.
thought it was an either or. I did not realize that they were the same thing.
So, yeah, Corpo I think is pretty good if you're trying to do that with it.
Yeah, if you're looking for a more yeah, like I guess it comes down to whether or not you have a spellcaster-based party or a physical damage-based party, right? I'd say if you
Yep.
have a physical-based party, Battle Scion is probably better. Court Poet is definitely better for a spellcaster.
Yeah. Agree.
For sure.
All right.
All right,
Moving
so
on.
Demon Dancer, pretty
do
freaking
it.
terrible.
Garbage!
because it takes all the fiend totems.
Garbage!
Yeah.
They said, oh, you didn't want these totems? Well, now you're locked into them. Good luck.
Yeah, it's freaking.
You know what? Just
whatever.
because we're fighting primarily evil things, which means that the Fiend Totems bonuses don't really mean anything, doesn't mean that this is necessarily bad.
It's just
No,
bad for the
it's actually
context.
exactly what it means. It's exactly what it means.
Actually,
Oh, yeah, I'm talking.
It sucks because just think about it. Imagine like you're out there on the battlefield and you pull out your lute or you pull out your flute or whatever, and you're like skipping around and you're playing your song and everybody starts sprouting freaking horns and spikes and stuff all over their body and start growing bigger and stronger, and then you just like it seems so awesome, like such a really cool flavor, like
yeah.
like I want to play it and I want it to be good because it just conjures up such good role-playing images in my mind, but then it just is totally ineffective after you get your huge muscles and your big horns and everything. You just run around punching freaking brick walls, or you may as well be because you ain't doing shit. Anyways, yeah, it's terrible for the setting. Hopefully if we get a third Pathfinder game, they'll bring it back and they'll actually give us a game with a little bit of nuance where, you know, it's not just, you know, good versus evil or whatever. Like, you know, maybe there'll be some hints of, you know, sometimes good can be as bad as evil, you know, something like that, where you're actually fighting some. That's definitely what I'm wanting.
I personally highly
I'm
doubt.
not expecting it, but
Yeah, I highly doubt a third Pathfinder game because like half their studio was
Yeah.
like, I don't want to work on Pathfinder ever again.
I don't think it'll happen either, especially because I don't think they can
Oh,
get
really?
much
I
more.
hadn't actually heard that.
Yeah, no,
I
they
don't
talked
think they
about
could
it.
get much more epic or awesome than this anyways. Like, even if they did want to, like, I don't think there's a whole lot of room for up from here in Pathfinder.
I would agree. I would
Yeah.
love
Interesting.
Starfinder.
Yeah, Starfinder would be
I'd
amazing.
be interested in a Pathfinder 2e.
I don't know. I'm pretty stoked for them going to 40K. I'm hoping maybe we get like
Yeah.
2 40K games, and
I-
then when they move on to Starfinder.
Yeah, I mean, I think Rogue
I know that would
Traders.
be awesome.
About 40K.
I think Rogue Trader is going to be really, really cool. It's definitely more like arcadey, like steampunk in space, and then Starfinder is like pure sci-fi space opera, and I'm like, I want that. No one has done me good a CRPG that does that yet, and I want it so desperately. I love
Yeah,
it
I would
so
say-
much.
Yeah, it's not so much space opera-y. It's more like Event Horizon-y with 40K.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I dig the vibe for sure.
It's
I don't know
freaking
shit
awesome.
about it.
It's amazing.
Except that there's
but-
orcs in
I'm
space.
very excited for it. But
Hell yeah.
yeah. All right, Demon Dancer sucks. End of story.
Trash.
Herald of the Horn.
Yep.
What do you get? Arcane Bond. Love it every
Hey,
time.
I know you guys love that.
Arcane Bond is freaking
And
awesome.
Arcane Bond trading for like what? Lore Master? Who cares about taking
Which is-
10 anyway?
Lore Master is garbage.
Taking 10 at all in this game is
Yeah,
generally
that's-
bad.
That's the only thing you're losing too. Look at everything you're getting here. That's the
I was
only
about
thing
to
you're
say,
losing.
is that really
Now-
all you lose?
Yeah, nothing you're getting here is like super powerful, but you're literally losing an ability that, like, it couldn't make less difference. This ability,
Yeah.
you know, unless it was a blank space.
Huh.
That's like the only way it can make less difference.
This is like just a different option of Bard plus of Skald plus.
Yeah, the horn call is pretty cool. Enhances your sonic spells or spells with the sonic descriptor.
I like that.
Increase their DC by 1, and actually it increases them again at 13th and 19th level, so you can actually get a full caster like spell DC with this, unlike with the bard. If you wanted to like a DC caster, you can get, you know, the same DC that you could get with level 9 spells of a full caster, thanks to this.
Igor,
At least
I
for
don't
your
know that I
sonic
would
spells.
consider
Right.
KOTOR as much of
well,
a CRPG
about
as it is an
probably-
RPG.
I
Like
was gonna ask
KOTOR
the
is
same
more
question.
Dragon
Hope
Age
you wanna be-
Origins,
What is
not
Horn of
really
Blasting?
That's
Pathfinder
exactly what I was
Pillars of
gonna ask,
Eternity.
but I imagine
So,
it's some type of
I loved KOTOR 1
sonic
and 2.
ability
but-
that could
Google.
maybe
It's a
stun
bit-
or
It's a bit of a different
Or,
vibe. Like
let's-
Origins is very
Stagger?
different play-wise compared to this
I'm also
game.
imagining it as an item.
because apparently there's also a Horn of Blasting for D&D. It can be sounded as a normal horde, but if the command word is spoken, the instrument is played, deals 5d6 points of sonic damage to creatures within a 40-foot cone, causes them to become deafened for 2d6 rounds. DC 16 fort save, reduces the damage by half, negates the deafening. Crystalline objects and creatures take 7d6 points of sonic damage with no save unless they're held, worn, or carried by creatures. And then that is increased to whatever the hell. The bigger one actually does have a description. 10d6 sonic damage, stuns creatures for 1 round. Fort save reduces damage by half.
Yeah.
Not affected by spell resistance.
Yeah, so you know,
I like
not
it.
bad.
That's good.
Not bad.
I like it.
Not like game breaking or anything, but it's a nice little addition to have.
It's a decent.
Besides,
And the DC is a sonic effect, so the DC is increased by, you know,
Yeah.
however many you have at that
so
point.
so far, besides the token throwaway archetype that every class has, Skald is pretty damn strong
It's
across the
I would
board.
say that
strong.
every one of
Really
these
strong.
is probably. I would say that every one of these is stronger in their zone than the base,
Yeah, for sure.
which is not necessarily true for a lot of classes.
Yeah, no way.
yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely not true for the bard.
Yeah.
Um,
So, Herald of the Horn, definitely good as long as you're not wanting to take those teamwork feats, and you shouldn't. I would say you'd probably take this over even Battle Scion.
yeah. Unless you're wanting to make your Skald your Intimidator,
That's true. It does have, that's
because
true.
it does get the bonus to Intimidate checks.
Yeah, if you plan to use intimidation, then go ahead and stick with that. Although you get Dirge of Doom, so it's kind of it's fine.
All right.
Oh yeah,
Um,
you do get Dirge of Doom.
So Hunt Caller.
Hunt Caller. It's
Yeah, no.
giving everyone beast shape.
Yeah, this one is
Mm.
not. This one's
No.
not very good.
If
It's
you had
not
told me that I was
absolutely
giving
not better,
everyone-
but it sucks.
If you told me I was giving everyone, you know, the top level of Dragonkind, then that would be something. But even then, like, unless your character is like, again, no matter how many of these like polymorph type spells boost your physical stats, unless you already have good physical stats, it's not a big enough of a boost to make a difference. A wizard beast shaping is not going to be strong if their strength and dex start at 10.
Yep.
It's
Now,
just not.
You
And
can't.
if you have a wizard and your strength is at 10, you're not min-maxing properly, sir.
Yeah, bring that shit
More
down to
madam.
7.
If
You-
not 5.
You can definitely build a skull to have pretty good like physical stats though. So like I feel like it
yeah.
could work here. Like I would imagine it working better here than it does with the druid actually.
But
Except I think the druid could probably does get better.
But the whole
better-
point is to be able to
But
turn
it's
your
actually
allies
fucking
as well.
yeah, it's
Um,
everybody. You're changing your whole party, which I would say actually makes it worse.
I was gonna say the only thing that I could see this, the only way I could see this being viable is if you were doing something thematic, like you had like you wanted some thematic party where everybody's changing shape or something. Other than that,
Yeah.
it's just worse. You're losing 2 of your rage powers, which really sucks. You're using well versed, which maybe isn't that big of a deal, but it's still something. And you're getting Call of the Wild, which is just not that good.
So I'm
Does-
trying
when
to
you-
see what do you get with Beast Shape 3? Would you like to hear what the description tells you?
I have a question first. When you
Sure.
toggle Inspire Rage, does that only work on the song Inspire Rage? Like if you want to
I
not hear
believe
it?
so.
And you should be able to prevent yourself from becoming an animal with it too. I haven't tested
Okay.
it. You definitely should be able to.
Still mad, but alright. Go ahead, Pandora.
Yeah, pretty neat.
It says at 18th level they can choose the effects of Beast Shape 3.
Yeah.
It does not tell you what animals you can change into. It's like, well, you should know. You should know this. Go check the Druid spell list, nerd. Which I'm about to do, actually.
I would say it's
no.
not. I
You
wouldn't
just-
say this is
You
garbage
just
like
hurt my
Demon
feelings,
Dancer.
like, I don't think it's garbage either, but I
But-
think it's clearly the worst one besides Demon Dancer.
It's
and I don't
so-
even think it's close.
Yeah, it's so niche that it's virtually unusable. Unless you're doing what you said.
Yeah, you basically have to build your entire party around it. I mean, like, okay, so if you are... Here's one way. If you sack a feat to get the cast spells while wild-shaped feat, that this could be a strict upgrade to your casters. It would make them a bit more hardy, a bit more tough to take down, you know, increasing all of their physical stats.
Uh-huh.
Get them a bit of extra health, get them a bit of extra you know, AC and reflex saves and all that good stuff. So there is that, but that is a feat tax to be able to use that archetype, basically. Animal shapes. Beast shape 3. Okay. Where's Beast shape 3? Just change staff. Remember when we spent like 40 minutes trying to figure out how the hell to use change staff?
That was fun though.
Yeah, actually, Matt points out something here that maybe this could be good for, the Hunt Caller could be good for a Midnight Isles. Like if you got like the natural attacks Tailwind or something like that, then you could build your whole party, you know, to where they at least have good physical stats, and maybe your spellcasters are just buffers. And you know, you could use this to transform them, to give them the buffs, and you still have enough to where you could get the beast totem rage powers and stuff. And so maybe in a situation like that, it might be pretty good. I still think it's the worst one
Wild
besides
Shape-
Demon Dancer, but maybe in something like that it could be
Ponder-
helpful.
Wild shape spells won't make a difference because when you're under the effects of Inspired Rage, you can't cast spells. Period.
Yeah, that's
And
why you
Call
wanna
of the
level it up when
Wild
you're
is
caster.
an add-on to Inspired Rage. It's not a separate song.
Oh, I thought it was a separate thing.
The Skald is like less songs than the Bard, but they're good at making their like Inspired Rage have many different like effects. That's kind of the
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I keep looking at this as different bard songs.
But
Hunt
yeah,
Caller is
it's
part of
not-
that healing tailwind as well. I don't remember
Thanks,
what was
Lightwork.
the like limitation of the healing tailwind, because I just remember it being every time you kill a person, heal everybody.
Yeah, no, I think that's all the. I don't think there was a limitation to it. Like every time that you kill somebody, I think you gain like one, or you heal for like 1d6 per level or something like that. I don't remember there being a limitation. It's been a long time though. It's been like 6 months, so I could.
Yeah, I got it my first time ever.
Yeah, I only had it once. I remember it was like that. That is so freaking good.
Oh, you need characters with certain classes or archetypes.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's got to be like the Primal Druid, the Wildland, maybe
Yeah,
not Wildland
Primal
Shaman,
Druid,
but
Sacred Huntsmaster,
Yeah.
Sylvan Trickster,
yeah,
Hunt
and-
Caller, Sylvan Sorcerer,
Yep.
Feral Champion, War Priest. Yeah. Okay.
Yep,
Yeah, I was like, I
I'm
remember
right
that
now.
they're like every one of them has had a requirement. I just couldn't remember what that one was.
Yeah, I didn't
It's
remember
just, have a few good archetypes, which Sacred Huntsmaster Inquisitor is great.
either. Yeah, I'd say most of those are pretty
Yeah.
pretty damn good.
Primal
So,
Druid's real cool.
for Skald, I mean, Battle Scion or Court Poet, depending how you want to play. Battle Singer
Yep.
right after. Herald of the Horns, also kind of just a different way of playing Skald Plus. Hunt Callers at the bottom besides Garbage Demon Dancer. I would honestly, because it's so niche, I'd put Hunt Caller below base Skald.
Yeah, you would need to really build your party
Yeah.
specifically to take advantage of the Hunt Caller. It's not something that you can just throw in as your sixth party member and just be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say it's really niche. Definitely not as good as any of the rest of them. I don't know. For me, I would put Battle Scion, Herald of the Horn, and the Base Skald actually all kind of on the same level, because while I do think Herald of the Horn and Battle Scion are a little bit better than the Base Skald, I feel like they're all pretty close, and like based on what you're trying to do, what minor differences you want. Like I feel like none of them is that much better than any of the other ones, even though some might be clearly a little bit better. And then after those three, I would have to put the Court Poet. I might even put the Court Poet in the same freaking area. I guess I'll go below the next tier down or whatever. Because Court Poet in most situations is definitely not as good, but if you have a caster party, it's extremely good. I'd say it's definitely one of the best support classes in the game if you're running a caster party for what it does. And then after that, I would put the Battle Singer, then the Hunt Caller, and then Demon Dancer.
All right, my turn.
Yep, you're up.
All right, I would say Battle Scion is a strict upgrade over Skald.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, you give up 3 knowledges to get a whole lot of stuffs. So I would say Court Poet and Battle Scion are probably top tier out of here, depending on whether or not you're going for a mate. Like you're saying, Court Poet if you're going for a caster party, Battle Scion if you're going for a physical damage party. After that, I would probably have Herald of the Horn, because you lose something that does not matter and you gain a fair bit for it. Which is also another thing that benefits spellcasters. Demon Dancer is trash, so that's on the bottom. Battle Stinger I would put below Base Skald, I think. So I think it would be Battle Scion and Court Poet, then Herald of the Horn, then Skald, then Battle Singer, then Hunt Caller, and then Demon Dancer.
Sounds
is
good.
how I would rank these.
Fair enough.
Almost exactly how I. Yeah. And actually, the chat over here wants me to point out, since I should have done this probably at the very beginning, but the level 20, a lot of the level 20 capstone abilities are not very good for a lot of the classes. The one for the Skald is freaking phenomenal, and definitely you're probably not going to want to dip any levels, because this causes Inspired Rage to no longer give you any penalties at all. It doesn't limit any skills or abilities that anybody can use, and it puts you under the effects of a haste spell. So, anyways, yeah, really good.
And another thing to point out,
all the way.
So.
Does that mean that you can cast spells?
No, you still can't cast spells, but normally I don't think you can make any skill checks aside from intimidation or whatever while you're under it either, right?
I think it's athletics, mobility, and intimidation or something like that.
Yeah.
I would
The,
say
the
that
main thing is you don't get the penalty to AC, and you're always under the effect of a haste spell.
the other thing to pay attention to is that only a few classes get this, but Skald is one of the handful of classes that has 2 high saving throws at the start.
Yeah. Good
That's
yeah,
not very
point.
common.
Yeah.
It's not very common.
Yeah, I'd say that they're the 2 most important too, at least in the beginning.
And they have like
Yeah.
besides trickery, all of the important skills that you could potentially use. So
Yeah.
I mean, they have almost all of the skills. Period.
yeah.
Yeah, I think
Like,
trickery is the only one they're missing, right?
Yep.
Athletics, mobility, persuasion. No, stealth. They're missing stealth.
Yeah.
Stealth and trickery.
Which kind of go hand in
not
hand.
all of them, but almost all of them are here.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
good.
Like, it is a very hefty class skill.
It's a very good class. Very good class.
All right.
Well,
So which one?
we-
Well,
we got
so-
some
so
time.
which
We
one's
wanna go
better,
through.
Bard or
We've
Skald?
done the
Skald
Bard, we've
is-
done the Barbarian. Do we want to do the Barbarian now?
Skald is by far better than Bard. Do we?
Alright,
We've
that's what I
done
wanna
2
do.
hours for 2 classes. So, are we able to go all the way?
I think we could go through Barbarian.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you guys lead this one because I literally hate barbarians, so I don't play them.
The only Barbarian that I've played in a while was Amiri.
I don't like any class that requires me to like. I don't love raging for the most part, and I don't like not being able to be lawful. So
Yeah.
Says the trickster.
that was
Aside
for
from-
fun.
Aside from Amiri, the Mad Dog's mostly the only one I've really played. Oh, the Instinctual Warrior, I've dipped a lot. It can be a really nice dip.
Imagine a
Um,
barbarian trickster.
Oof. But yeah, you're faster.
You could give yourself that spell that gives you crits, and just crit.
Well, Sense Vitals is
Yeah.
personal. So you would
No,
need to have some way
No,
to...
he's talking about the one you
The
get
trickster
at,
spell.
like your level 9 spell or whatever. The one where for 3 turns you roll a 20 on like every roll. No
Yeah.
matter what. Yeah, Trick
Oh.
Fate. That's the
Yeah.
name of it.
It's fucking great.
Yeah, it's incredible. That's how you rack up like 2, 3, 4, 5, 20,000 damage.
bunch
in
of
a
problems
turn.
hard enough. to
Plus,
solve.
if anyone was gonna throw fish or summon beer elementals, it would definitely be a barbarian.
Dude, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
made such a big deal over that. Like that's awesome.
So you get your basic rage ability, fast movement. I think this is probably the fastest that you can get improved uncanny dodge out of any class.
Probably.
Probably.
Because you get it, you
Yeah.
get improved uncanny dodge at level 5.
Yeah.
Like usually that's like a rogue advantage.
Lord, I totally agree. Sensei is definitely Bard Plus. Way better
So
Bard as
this
well.
is really, really early to get improved uncanny dodge. Danger sense, so you could just tank traps if you really feel like it.
Calypsy, they definitely, like, the limited
The rage powers, which we were talking
alignments
about
is
earlier, you get
gross
damage
to me.
reduction. DR5 just naturally. Will saves against enchantments. And then extra bonuses to your rage, which no longer tires you once you're level 17. And yeah.
I mean,
Pretty
the Barbarian,
simple for the most part.
It's pretty good because it has a full base attack progression bonus. But
Yep.
I'll just say, like with the Skald, like really, you may as well just play a Skald because with the Skald, there's no fatigue that you have to worry about after raging or anything like that, and you can do it to your entire
Also,
party.
welcome in,
And
Calypsy.
you
It's
get way more
cool that you
benefits,
showed
and
up
you get
again, and it's
spells.
really cool
Like
that
the
you
only thing the Barbarian really
raided
has over a
Pondor.
Skald is they get more
It's pretty
rage
neat.
powers, but you get enough
Super
with the Skald
appreciate
that you can
Glad to have you back.
pick all the
More
ones
health.
that really matter, all the ones that are really good, more health, and what a better attack progression. Danger sense is garbage. Damage reduction is garbage. I mean, you get uncanny dodge, but then the Skald also gets that. I guess you get faster movement. It's I don't know.
And the
Like,
outfit for the Barbarian is garbage.
I felt like the Barbarian was really good in Kingmaker, but with the addition of the Skald, like I feel like the Barbarian is just not very good here unless you play a Mad Dog.
Did you really? Because I thought Amiri was like the worst character ever.
Oh wait, we
Amiri.
forgot to do
I loved
something for the
Amiri.
Skald. We forgot to check something for the Skald.
What?
Skald is also a 3-star difficulty.
Oh, sure.
But Barbarian's only a 1-star difficulty, so get fucked.
1 star? Yeah, all you do is toggle on and go. That's
You just click one button at the beginning of fight and just run in.
yeah. Biggest downside of the Barbarian. Their clothes are shit. Like I literally, there are classes I don't choose because I don't like the outfits on the characters. Like the Hunter and Ranger with their big like.
Are over here talking about all the mechanics, and Unsung's over there. But the fashion.
Listen,
though.
the Hunter and Ranger are such cool classes, but they've got all of that fur wrapped around their ankles, and I'm like, why? Get out of here! Just wear regular shoes.
Wait, what do you mean?
Their outfits.
They live in fucking icy ass like tundra shit. What do you
Rangers
mean?
and Hunters can live anywhere. Shut up! No, they can live anywhere. They can live anywhere.
Are we talking about Barbarians?
Yeah.
They also can live anywhere.
They live in the icy ass tundra. Then why is she wearing a crop top or whatever that is?
I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Rangers and Hunters do not.
Doesn't hold. It doesn't hold up. That's all I'm saying.
It's more of an issue than the furry boots. The furry boots would fit in that particular like.
Not all barbarians live in the tundra.
What?
What are you talking about? Not all of them live in the same area. Barbarians are everywhere.
No.
Yes.
No, they're all in the same spot. Shut up.
So are Rangers and Hunters. They're all over the place. It's a class. It's not a group of people.
No, it is.
No. Rangers and Hunters are only in the forest. Barbarians are only in the frozen tundra.
Yeah, so why can I have favorite terrain?
Only in cities and taverns.
So that's why I can have favorite terrain desert. Okay, makes sense.
No. Why it's 3/4 of their name.
So the deserts, so Rangers, the desert's your favorite terrain because they just read about it?
Yes.
That's
They're like, man, I would like to visit that, but I am contractually obligated to stay in the forest.
Alright, as this show was my idea, you guys are both fired. That's what I think.
Fired?
You're fired.
I'm getting
What
paid?
did I do?
Wait, where's my paycheck?
What the hell? You're screwing me, Pondor.
What? I did nothing.
You're the one being combative and
Always.
confrontational, and I'm the one getting fired.
You said Rangers are only in the forest. You're fired.
Yeah, well, mine was clearly a joke.
Mine was totally for surezies serious. 100%.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never known Pondor to be serious a day in his life unless you tell him that Fireball sucks.
I will say Fireball does suck. Controlled Fireball is much better.
Whatever. You know what I mean. Ball of Fire. Although watching Pondor is how I learned to, like, not have too diversified of a spell list and, like, plug, like, it's okay to have only one spell in a given spell level, like, take up all the slots. That's okay to do and effective to do.
Which is true. So
yeah, but I didn't play that way before. I was like, I want 2 of this, 3 of this, 2 of this, 1 of those. Like I was gonna get a sorted donut box from Krispy Kreme or something.
Every single spell controlled Fireball. Or Scorching Ray. Scorching Ray from level 2 to level 6.
With Meta Magic, you actually make it to where every single spell slot is just controlled Fireball because you just have it at different spell levels going upwards.
Heightened spell, every single spell from level 1 to level 9 Magic Missile.
Sure, that'll be great. All right, so Armored Hulk, the base barbarian is, you know, if you're new to the game, the base barbarian's fine, I guess, effective, not super great because of the Skald. Armored Hulk, on the other hand, if you want a heavy armored barbarian, then yeah, sure, I guess.
The concept is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yep. You get heavy armor proficiency for free.
You get to move faster in your heavy armor.
Yep. So it negates the speed penalty for heavy armor.
Would you rather move faster in heavy armor or be really good at dodging shit though?
Yeah, you do lose uncanny dodge and improved uncanny dodge, which is unfortunate.
I think I would rather have the resilience of steel, though. I mean, look at that. You get a +6 to your AC by 18th level. That's pretty good.
That is pretty good.
You know, on top of your plus.
Yeah, that is,
I mean, that's 20 just.
It's
from your
only
armor.
on critical confirmation, though.
Yeah, I was about to say that's not great. It's not for everything. It's only against crits.
Oh god. Yeah.
Yeah.
Should have finished reading that, huh? I was like, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's not very good.
I think it's cool concept.
I would say that
for
this is
execution.
a real bad archetype.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I was trying to give the Barbarian something here, but
Would it be
'cause,
cool
like,
to be?
Indomitable stance, you get a +1 on CMB and CMD.
Yeah.
Reflex against trample attacks, which how fucking often do you see that?
Like, raging in heavy armor sounds terrifying, but also it's just not well executed in this game.
Yeah, it's just you don't
Yeah.
really get anything.
Yeah, it costs me
yeah,
too much.
If,
You're right.
if you want to wear, fighters,
You're
just
getting a feat.
better.
You get a
Just better.
feat,
Yeah.
and that's about it.
Well, I mean, you do get the rage powers also.
But like
you
I'm
know,
saying, like
which
as
can add a
opposed
lot.
to just a
but-
normal barbarian.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if we're comparing Armored Hulk to normal barbarian, basically the only thing that you're getting is a feat. And a +6 against confirmation rolls on crits. Yeah.
yeah,
Like
I
the
would say
Indomitable
there's.
stance does nothing. The armored swiftness,
I'd say they're comparable. If you want to wear heavy armor, then go with Armored Hulk. If you don't, go with Barbarian. I don't think either one is much better than the other. Much different than the other.
I mean, it's only one feat though. Like you could just take this at level
I mean,
1.
I will say AC against crits is better than being able to have good defenses against traps, because you shouldn't be stupid enough to walk over them anyway.
Yeah,
I mean that's
dangerous is
fair, but
freaking terrible. Yeah, absolutely horrible. The resilience of steel is a lot better than that. But
You know what?
still
I was
rather
with
be-
Pondor on this one, but now I'm with Lore on this one. I think this is just fine if you just want to wear heavy armor instead.
Yeah, it's
you lose
just fine if
uncanny
you want to wear
dodge,
heavy
improved
armor.
Uncanny dodge, which hurts a lot.
Don't get flanked.
Oh, you're wearing heavy armor, which is going to
Okay.
add more to your AC than you're losing from that, anyways. So I'm saying, like, if you want heavy
the
armor, go with
boosted
this.
speed
Otherwise,
for wearing heavy armor is negated just by having fast movement as a normal barbarian. Like they both just increase it by the same amount.
Well, that's the point, because
Yeah.
fast movement specifically talks about you wearing less armor to get it. So it's replacing the detailing. That's what it's just a different
Well,
description.
That's why
It's
I'm
also
saying, like,
later.
one's not better than the other. It's just, do you want to be a little bit faster and wear medium armor? Do you want to have heavy armor and maybe be a little bit slower? I'm not saying one's wrong or one's right. I'm saying they're almost exactly the same. Just which slight difference do you prefer? That's what I'm saying.
I think so. I would agree with that.
Yeah. I'm not impressed with either of them so far.
Agreed. Now, Beastkin Berserker.
Like I keep saying, I'm like, yeah, this is really bad, and then I keep referring to the stuff that it's replacing. I'm like, oh yeah, that's not great either.
So Calypsy says, so both of them are bad, and yes, I think we're kind of saying both of them are bad.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
I would
exactly
say
what
in
I'm saying.
Kingmaker, no, but in this setting, definitely. That's what I would say.
Yeah, other
Anyway.
classes wear heavy armor better. That's true, for sure.
So Beastkin Berserker.
I mean, it's just 3 rage powers for a different kind of rage power.
Yeah, you're just, if you want to transform into an animal instead of have a animal fury bite attack or what the hell ever rage power, then go with this. Again, I feel like there's not very much difference.
Yeah.
You do get Savage Rapport, I guess. So maybe if you're trying to intimidate, this helps with that.
Yeah,
So
I feel
mean,
like this
you
is
get
just
the,
trying
you
to
get the wolf trips at level 4.
yeah. This
Yeah,
is just like, if you want to be a barbarian but you'd rather take these than the regular rage powers, then take this.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy here.
All right, Instinctual Warrior, which is probably
There's not
going
really much to talk about on these.
I was gonna say, probably going to be the best one here, Instinctual Warrior, not because it's necessarily good, but just because it's great to just grab a, just a dip for something else. Like whenever you're playing a class that's actually good, you can dip this class, and that's helpful.
Yeah, you
But
get
as far as
wisdom
the-
bonus to freaking everything.
AC.
Yeah. Which is very
AC.
nice.
Initiative.
CMD. Is it initiative?
There's what
Yeah.
fervent reflexes.
It's AC and initiative. I don't think you get it to saves with this, but yeah, AC and initiative for sure.
You get all the blind
Oh
fights
yeah,
for
initiative at 1.
you
At
get,
level 2, yeah, CMD.
you get all the blind fights for free, and then you get like you have your rage power list is expanded to also include a few key powers.
There you go.
Which is
So
just
you can get some of the.
I guess like you get
Some of those
less
are pretty decent.
you get less rage powers because of the blind fight things, I'm guessing. But you get more choice. And some of those are pretty good. Like Perfect
Yeah,
Self,
they are
Diamond
really
Soul,
good.
Diamond Body, like that's pretty good choices. I wish you got rid of Danger Sense instead of the DR, but whatever.
Yeah, damage reduction isn't very good, but it's definitely better than danger.
But it's definitely better than
definitely
Danger
better than
Sense.
danger sense. Definitely.
Focus. I also
Excuse me,
like.
sir, wait a second. Did you just say Diamond Body is good?
I would say that they're all kind of like, you know, I've been poisoned in this game. Okay,
It's called Delay Poison.
that's true, but I'm just saying, like, you know, in general, like these are defensive key powers. It's not like they gave you, you know, stupid offensive ones or something. I also like the focused rage. A lot.
Yeah.
Like you get a bonus to attack rolls and wisdom increases. Like it's the attack rolls and wisdom bonus, and then the wisdom, like, then also boosting everything else because it's getting boosted.
Yeah, so you're getting +3 to your initiative, which in the middle of combat isn't really going to
Yeah.
matter, but you are getting the +3 bonus to your AC also, which is nice.
And this is like very blind barbarian. You have all the blind fights, and then eventually you get blind sense and blind sight.
Yep.
A ray attack, a gaze attack will never hit you again.
All right. So basically, the moral of this archetype or this entire class so far is that if you want to be a badass barbarian, you need to poke both of your eyes out because this is by far better than anything else we've seen from the barbarian so far.
Yeah, Instinctual Warrior is easily the best.
Yeah,
archetype.
this is a raging monk.
Mhm.
Which is kind of a cool concept, to be honest. It's the monk without having to be lawful.
You
There you
don't
go.
get the increase to damage on unarmed attacks, though, right? I did miss
No.
that somewhere.
Yeah, you don't.
You're still a weapon using class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to double check just in case I missed it somewhere.
Super
All right.
cool.
Yeah, I like the Instinctual Warrior.
All right.
Vulnerable Rager, I think is going to be another one where it's like cool concept, but poor
I mean, you
execution.
get DR10 for free.
DR10 is enough DR to where you're starting to get into the realm of it kind of mattering, like you are, but it's not really for free because you do lose your uncanny and improved uncanny dodges. Danger sense doesn't matter though.
Hey, you know
So-
what's still better than danger sense? 6 points of fire and cold resistance. Still better than danger sense.
I don't actually think that's true.
I do.
I don't know.
I think it's.
I'm just
I mean, it's.
if resistance is stacked, I would agree, but you're always going to have something that gives you more than 6 fire and cold resistance on, or at least you
Yeah,
should.
as well, if you know what to cast it for, right?
I mean, that's
Yeah.
like literally nothing. Danger sense is like almost nothing. It's like a hair above nothing.
Well,
It's,
I guess like so like with my playstyle, like I tend to have haste on less for combat and more for movement because I'm impatient as hell and I'll just run through everything. So I do tend to a lot of times I will run into traps before they actually pop up and I don't see them. So danger sense would help me somewhat. But on the other end, most of those that do damage, it's mostly fireball traps. Like the vast majority of traps that you will run into are either going to be fatigue things, like waves of fatigue, which there's no save against and there's no dodging it. It's just going to hit you. Or fireball traps. Or like scorching ray traps, where the fire resistance will come into play.
yep. Those
So-
are all pretty. I don't know. You get a lot of welling banshee traps too, like towards the end.
I haven't really seen that many of those.
Yeah, it's mostly just like towards the end. You definitely get way more of the other ones because the other ones will be spread out.
Monk has to be lawful. You have to be lawful to be a monk. Also, cool. Thanks for lurking and hanging out and all your input.
Yeah,
Appreciate you.
Like enjoy
your time with the wife.
I just haven't run into that just yet. Which I am just now starting my 7th lap, so I'll probably start running into that more. But yeah, up to this point, it's mostly been fire damage.
Guys, hear me out. Hear me out. Ready? You got DR10. Increase DR on all of your rage powers for DR20. And then every feat, DR for DR30. 30 DR. Because you can just use extra rage power every feat and just get DR30.
Hey, DR30 is pretty respectable. Unfortunately, I think you're going to be able to get that without any investment, or at least close to it, from the new shifter classes coming up in a couple of weeks.
Also, if you did that, you wouldn't be good at anything else.
Yeah.
Just boost con, DR30, and just meat wall. Meat wall.
God.
Maybe that's what you should have done for your story mode. No experience. Oh no, it's no experience.
Yes.
Never mind. But if you had some type of viable story mode, I guess where you could get to level 20, then with DR30, you just everything hits you for 0, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that doesn't is spells, but you're just gonna.
I want to see Pondor try
on story mode.
I don't know.
DR30 meat sack. Just dump all the stats and just put.
I was also trying to do things in a reasonable amount of time.
No.
And so having literally nothing but DR feats kind of, makes you a fucking wet sock whenever you're trying to actually attack.
Hey, you do get a full base attack bonus progression though.
Yeah, full baby.
Story mode. It is story mode, so you can't miss unless you roll a 1 anyways.
Yeah, so
not true. Not at all true.
True. It's pretty damn close to true.
Listen,
there are multiple enemies with 50 plus AC towards the end of the game.
That can't be true.
That is true. That is legitimately true. I know the Aeon has a 60 armor class in Threshold. On story difficulty. I know this for a fact.
I'm gonna go check that because I have a story difficulty playthrough and I should have a save close to there. Because I definitely don't believe that because I never even upgraded my gear. Like I just ran through everything and still had like starting Act 1 weapons and just everything just died to auto attack the whole way.
This is a great idea. You meat sack this guy up and then make a Skald character, and his rage powers are what you give the Barbarian.
Oh Jesus.
I like that.
I like that too. Again, it just kind of shows you that with the Skald, you don't need a Barbarian. Except for the Mad Dog, because why? The Mad Dog gives you pets, and pets are incredibly, incredibly useful, or a pet, in this game. So if you have to play a Barbarian and you want to actually be effective, definitely suggest the Mad Dog.
Animal companion.
You get a cute little kitty or a big giant mammoth and just go out there and whoop some ass.
Yeah, and eventually you get throat cutters, so whenever you like trip someone or whatever, your pet will attack. Which is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. You get the pack tactics and the ferocious trip to increase your tripping abilities. And then throat cutter if you.
I dig it. This is the only one where I'm like, Instinctual Warrior too. These two are like the ones I'm like better than Barbarian, whereas Armored Hulk and Beast Skin are just kind of like options. Invulnerable Rager is pretty. So I like Mad Dog though.
Yeah.
Animal companions are good.
Animal companions are definitely good. I don't know. Some of the people over here they're saying that Mad Dog's actually their favorite class here over Instinctual Warrior for the dips because they like to dip up the ferocious trip, just for whatever classes they're grabbing, either ferocious trip or pack tactics. for their actual animal companion class.
One of the things I love about Pathfinder 2e is that to be able to go into another class, you basically have to do like an archetype and dedicate at least a certain amount of time in that other class. So it stops you from being able to... There's no dipping. You have to commit, or you don't get to do it at all.
Well,
One thing that I like
once.
about...
You can take a 1-level dip, and then you're just locked out of other classes.
In 2e, no?
Yeah.
Oh, then yeah, you can just never take another archetype or whatever
you just
again.
Don't multi-class past that second.
I guess you could do that, but then you're really limiting your power potential, I feel like.
Second edition, like, just because it seems like way more freaking balanced.
Yeah.
And you know, and like does not reward like power gaming at all.
I agree.
You know, it doesn't reward taking 20 different levels in 20 different classes, or, you know, just taking even 2 or 3 extra levels for whatever, which I guess is what you were getting at. But it seems way more freaking balanced. Even the classes, even if you were to do just full 20 level classes, the classes by comparison seem more balanced, just because of the role system that they have.
I would agree.
It's been a hot minute since I've looked at second edition, so I can't talk a whole lot on it. I've forgotten most of what I knew.
I've had to look at it a lot for this game.
At
some point, I want to make videos going over stuff, because there's not a whole lot of 2e videos online at all, really.
Yeah. I was having the same thoughts about that.
For sure.
All right, so
Pack Ranger. It's Barbarian Tactician.
Yeah, I guess more or less. Yeah, Barbarian Tactician, which for the Barbarian, unlike the Skald, I would say probably worth it to use your bonus feats on some teamwork feats. You know, instead of just getting like 10 rage powers, you know, spending half your rage powers.
Well, this one doesn't give
I feel like it's worth it.
This one doesn't.
You don't have the choice. You have to take.
Yeah, this one you have to take one.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I don't feel like that's a detriment. Like, I feel like that's better than having to take 10 rage powers. You know?
Why do you still get 1 DR?
Yeah,
because
DR1.
Because why not?
It's gonna make so much difference.
No,
it's gonna be level 10.
Not the
not
question
level 7,
is and always
not
will
level
be
19.
For this. Why?
Level 10. Got to be the level 10 ones.
What the fuck? I get. Wait, is that simply so that we can take extra DR?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Maybe.
it's so that you can take increased DR rage power.
Like, look, we're giving you 1 damage resistance so that you can get up to 6 damage resistance if you want to sacrifice everything that your class does for an amount of damage.
Well, you can only get up to 4 with the rage powers here because you have to take this first before you can even take increased.
Huh?
Like, you don't get this DR till level 10, so you can only use 3 rage powers on increased DR.
Okay, yep. Yeah. I was too hasty there.
So 4 DR for you.
Yeah, 4 DR if I want to use up all my...
4 is like the grossest number though. Like 3 and 5 are like, you know, very nice numbers, but fucking 4, man, come on.
I mean, if you want to be a barbarian and you want teamwork feats, then I would say that this is definitely the way to go. But I really think that you should just go a different way.
What? Does Skald have DR?
Yeah,
No.
3 DR.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I thought DR from classes stacked with other DR. Does it not?
I
don't think so. Most sources of DR don't stack.
I feel like it should.
Different sources of DR, like if you have DR/magic and DR/cold iron and DR/fire or whatever.
Oh, you know what? I think it doesn't because there are certain prestige classes, I think, that specifically say their DR stacks with if the class it goes into it has DR.
Okay.
So I think normally it doesn't.
I was gonna say most of the time it will not stack. it'll just be like I said, if you have those 3 different sources of DR, not fire because that's not a thing, but like lawful. Say you got lawful, magic, and
Got it.
cold iron. If the character is lawful but doesn't have a cold iron weapon or magic, then it'll get over the lawful DR, but you'll still have to deal with the other 2. And it'll only take the higher of the 2 on that one.
Gotcha.
But you actually have to like overcome each of the different sources of DR to get full damage in. Otherwise, it will at least get chunked down by the highest of the ones that remain.
Yeah, see, Barbarian's my least favorite fucking class, and this just goes to show that I was right.
Yeah, I'm not overly impressed, honestly.
Like,
most of these,
I'm pretty sure
it's incredibly basic.
Pretty bad.
I'm pretty sure in my Barbarian video, I just said, if you want to be a Barbarian, just be a Blood Ranger instead. Or a Skald.
Yeah.
Just do one of those 2 things instead.
I mean, I don't think the Blood Ranger is that good either, although some of its archetypes are pretty good.
It's at least better than a fucking Barbarian.
Yeah, you do at least get level 4 spells, you know.
I feel
And
like
you can eat
Mad
them!
Dog, I feel like, is the best out of these.
Blood Ranger, you can eat the spells.
Simply because, not even because of what the Barbarian gets, just the fact that you have an animal companion now.
True.
Yeah, I agree.
I honestly feel like that's probably the best. It's like, yeah, just, do this, get you a Mastodon or a Smilodon, and then go for it.
Actually, let's see. Matt's pointing out here that they don't even get a real capstone ability, which they don't, right? Maybe there's a rage power
Mighty
that's only
Rage.
available at level 20 or
Yeah,
something.
so it increases their bonus to +4 and also increases their temporary hit points to +4 per hit die.
I don't count that. Like, that's just the natural progression of their freaking rage.
Yeah, they don't really get a capstone beyond that.
Yeah, I guess technically that is their capstone, but that's freaking horrible for a capstone. Like, I don't think that should count.
Yeah, nope, nothing else, just that.
Yay.
So yeah, I would say Barbarian is easily the least impressive of the 3 that we've looked at today.
Yeah, easily.
I'd say
the least
definitely it would
impressive of the
go.
3. Trying to think of another.
Bard, Barbarian.
I'd rather be a fucking fighter than a Barbarian, even. Like,
Fighters kick ass. So yes,
Yeah.
fighters are freaking amazing.
yeah, they're just boring.
So they are kind of boring, but they're incredibly effective.
But Barbarians are boring and also ineffective.
Yeah, I was trying to think of another class that might be worse than Barbarian. And it's kind of sad because I liked them so much in Kingmaker, but it's like, damn, like, I think this might really be the worst class in the game. I'm sure we could find an archetype somewhere else.
Oh,
worse,
yeah, for sure.
for sure.
Yeah,
But
There are archetypes that
Flame
are worse.
yeah,
Flame Dancer.
Flame, Flame Dancer is
Flame
worse.
Dancer, sure.
Flame
Yeah,
Dancers.
Flame
What
Dancer.
were the other? What other ones did we go through?
There were garbage. It was Flame Dancer, and I don't think, or the Skald had one garbage. Demon Dancer. Demon Dancer is garbage.
Demon Dancer's bad.
Oh.
Fire Dancer's bad. Well, like, what about the ones that we went through last week? Defender of the True World and Face Speaker.
Yeah,
in
Defender of the
this
True World's bad.
And Face Speaker. Yeah, those are the 2 I think that were.
At some point, I need to do like a tier list of all of the garbage archetypes we threw away, and then just all the tiers are just different levels of garbageness, and just rank the garbage archetypes. Which
Yeah,
one's
well,
at the bottom of the landfill?
Yeah, there's definitely
Angel
a lot
Fire
to be done
Apostle.
off of this. Do the best, do the worst, do the mediumest.
Alright, well,
Yeah.
we went through Barbarian pretty quickly because there wasn't much there.
Yeah, there's not much there. They're not great.
Yeah.
All right.
I would say Mad Dog's the best. Instinctual Warrior or Pack Ranger maybe the next best. Probably Pack Ranger because at least it boosts up your other characters.
Instinctual Warrior is
I would
just kind
probably
of cool.
take Pack Ranger as my second, and then Instinctual Warrior is the third, and then the rest of them are all in the trash.
Trash. Sure.
Yeah, I think I kind of have the same feeling. Yeah, that's good enough. I agree with you, Ponder.
Yeah, I'm gonna toe the company line as well.
when the best archetype is only good because it buffs the other people in your party or brings a completely different character that's just better than you are.
Yeah.
All right.
So all right, Barbarian's pretty garbage. Y'all did help me realize maybe the Bard's a little bit better than what I gave it credit for today. So thank you for that.
Well, thank you for
And-
showing us the Skald, my friend.
Yeah,
I have seen the
I
light.
had never used a Skald before.
Yeah, they're
and,
freaking
had no-
phenomenal.
Did not
So
know
good.
anything about it.
Appreciate that.